and welcome to the Four Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee. I am Miles Hasquist. Alongside me is
Pam Hall, and we're out here at Tennessee. It's been a little bit of a weird weather day today.
It's been super hot for so long, and then all of a sudden a storm rolls through, sprinkles just a little bit. We could use a little bit of rain because dust is going to be an issue, but it's cooled down probably 20 degrees in the last hour, and it's absolutely perfect. But it's been so hot all weekend long. But,
it has been
we'll see
horrible.
how it shakes out.
Yeah, it sprinkled just enough to make all of our vehicles dirty.
Yeah, dirtier, yeah. So we're about to kick off qualifying. We're going to start off with a 4600 Spider Track stock class, and then we'll go to the 4900 Can-Am UTV class, then the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, then the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, and then the big boys and gals, the 4400 Unlimited class. It's going to be absolutely awesome. You see where just over my left shoulder is the start-finish line, just right over here. So that's the qualifying loop is 0.43 of a mile, so it's going to be just under a half-mile lap. It's going to be quick. I'm going to guess, what are we going to do? I'm going to say a minute 11. I'm going to go 1:11 for the fastest time.
1:11. Okay, so 0.43. Yeah, you're probably pretty correct on that, but I know there's a drop-off out there as well, so I'm probably going to go closer to a maybe 1:35.
All right, we'll see how it shakes out. I was lucky enough to go out while they were pre-running earlier today and kind of watched them, and there's 3 sections that are tough. You take off, you head through the woods, and you go through this little creek section. There's a few rocks. So you get over that, you come through, and the trees are extremely tight here. And then there's another little rock section where you're climbing. There are multiple lines to go up it, and it's loose. It's even though it's dry out here, it's a little slimy back in the woods. And then you make it through another little tight trees, and there's a drop off that's probably about, I'm going to say 5 foot, pretty vertical. And if you hit that just wrong, you could tumble over front. So it's going to be an exciting day of qualifying, and qualifying is going to be super important.
Yes, it is.
Because I think tomorrow's race is on adjusted time. We'll take off in 30-second increments. So qualifying is going to be a big deal because there is passing. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be hard to pass out there. And I think the dust in the trees with the shadows and all that, It's going to play its toll.
Well, because what happens, you get out there and you're kind of in a bowl, and if there is a breeze out, at the higher elevations, sometimes they don't have it in some of those areas, but there are a lot of water puddles out there, number one. Number two, you're saying about the dust. So, going in the water and then straight into dust, that's never fun.
Yeah, because then you can get water on your helmet, and that dust turns to glue. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. But, again, it's going to be good. So, again, we're going to kick off qualifying for the four-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee here in just a moment. We got some guys and gals over here getting excited to get going on.
Yeah, we have the lineup coming up. We have a little different setup this year for us, but we can see who's going to be taking off at each time. But it looks like we have the 4601 getting ready to go off the line here momentarily.
And that is Cody Lusk out of Archdale, North Carolina. He's running a Jeep with Mickey Thompson tires, Method, and Radflow shocks. So he'll be the first one to take off. Cody Lusk in the 4600 Spider Track stock class. And for that class, you have to have a stock OEM frame. Wheelbase must stay within 3 inches. Factory engine and transmission. 35-inch DOT tires. So that's a big deal for what's going on with these cars. Single shock per corner. Factory-style suspension. Leaf spring, TTB or whatever it came with from the factory. Mechanical steering. This is a very close-knit group. It's going to be great to see.
We will be getting our lineup as well here in just a few minutes. We have lots of stuff going on, and drivers meeting just took place about an hour ago, and that was a really good drivers meeting, and lots of questions that people were asking, and it's always good to have those questions asked at drivers meeting instead of going out and thinking, hey, I can just do this or whatnot. But definitely the race course though tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun.
I was just going to go into that. Thank you. So tomorrow's race is going to be 6-mile lap, right on the money. The stock class is going to do 4 laps. The 45, 48, and 49 will all do 5 laps, and then the 4400 Unlimited class will do 7 laps. And for the 4400 class, we got a fun little trail, Riot. It's a joker. So you have to run it once. You can only run it once, and that's for the 4400 class only. So that's a lot of strategy going into it. And we were talking about that in the drivers meeting. It's you got to run it once when you do it.
It's called the Joker line, but it's no joke.
It is no joke.
Definitely no joke. Oh, that's awesome.
We're hoping to have a camera on the Joker line, it sounds like. We'll have a few cameras out on course. We have 2 drones. We have the Believe cam out here, the FPV drone. It's going to be awesome to watch this go down.
We have Rufus Racing coming over here. They're going to be watching the start. They'll be doing their qualifying later on in the 4400 class. But, yeah, we were talking about the weather. Let's go back to that, Miles. You said it was hot and muggy and nasty out here, and then the cloud coverage definitely dropped the temperature. We thought that we were going to have a major storm come through here. It
looked nasty, and now I'm checking the weather right now, and it looks like we're clear for the rest of the day. It got all the way down to 79 degrees,
wow.
But it's going to be hot. Tomorrow will be 90 degrees. It's just part of it. Hey, we're in Tennessee. We're here at the Adventure Off-Road Park just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee in the Appalachian Mountain foothills. This place is absolutely amazing. It sounds like we got a couple more cars on course. We're getting everything cleared out. So we are just minutes away from kicking off qualifying for the 4-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee.
So speaking of qualifying course, now there is the .43 qualifying course, but there are areas that racers can go out and do the rest of the race course. There's just areas they have to stay away from for qualifying.
Yeah, they can take a little back loop and drop in right around probably the half-mile mark and go out there and pre-run the rest of it. But we were talking to the drivers' meeting, JT Taylor, our race director, I would wait till after you're done qualifying, because if you go out there, you qualify towards the end, right? But if you go out there and get stuck, broke down, you're going to miss your qualifying.
Exactly.
Take a rear start.
There's been a lot of tire talk out here this weekend. There's some sharp rocks out there. A lot of people have had some issues out on race course. A lot of people were working on their cars yesterday after they were out pre-running. It's going to be a difficult course. It's definitely more difficult than the one we had last year.
Yeah, tires and the heat, I think, are going to be the two biggest elements of this race.
Yeah, we've been talking about hydration. Like everybody here, we've been hydrating, taking hydration packs. It's like these racers, hopefully they're doing that as well, because tomorrow, no cloud coverage. It's going to be warm.
It's going to be interesting. But, hey, that's part of it. We've been, building this course for the last few days and dealing with it ourselves. So we're going to do the best we can to bring you an amazing race. We also want to give a huge shout-out to Jason and Gayla Robinette with Mid-America Outdoors. They've really brought a great thing to this with Ultra 4. We want to thank all of our volunteers, our media, our safety crew, USAC. We have Lee O'Donnell, our safety USAC director here on site. We have a lot of great people to thank you out there. And
especially Benji and Karen. They've been amazing out here. Benji's been out on race course with JT. They've cut new trails for the race. Miss Karen's been cooking for us. It's everybody involved.
And the production crew has done an amazing job. Rock Racing TV has really stepped up in bringing you some of this great action with all these cars out on course. Don't forget, you can also go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing. Pam's got her laptop up here, and she'll be keeping us honest on that. So you can do the same thing from home. So get a dual screen, get the live show up, get your timing up, and you can keep up with how everything is going. So they're in a little bit of chatter through the PCI Race Radio. We're getting ready to kick this off. It's going to be a great one. And while we're talking about that, let's give a huge shout out to Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive, Mid-America Outdoors, the Off-Road Syndicate, Holly EFI, Lasernut, Griffin Race Radiators, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto, King Shocks, King of the Hammers, Spider Tracks, Recaro Seats, Baja Jerky, PCI Race Radios, Amsoil, Method Race Wheels, Axial RC Cars, 360 Wraps, Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, Yukon Gear and Axle, HCR, Warren, Factor 55, ARB, Rigid, Brannick, Tread Lightly, and Action Sports Cansby. Without all these wonderful partners, we would not be racing here today for the 4-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee. So please support who supports the sport. Chip's coming over. He's checking everything out. Everybody's anticipating the start for the qualifier. Again, it's just under a half mile. It's going to be a fast loop. I'm excited to get this first car out on course. Number 4601 of Cody Lusk. Should be taking off here very, very shortly.
And Miles, we've had quite a few new people, too, that have registered to race. We have a team all the way from Canada. So when we get to the 4400 class, we can talk about them. But we have quite a few people.
They're right over here.
They are. They're watching right
Derek
here to
Starr
the side. It's going to be a father-son team out on race course, the 992.
Yeah, they bought that car a couple years ago, and then COVID hit and were unable to make it out. So they are super stoked. They've been here for over a week just enjoying the festivities of the park and whatnot and having a lot of fun. So great to have their whole team here racing with us here with Ultra 4.
But we have quite a few other teams, too, that we'll get to talk about that, never raced or wanted to race. But here they are. This is one race course to come have your first race on for sure. I mean, what about breaking you in right?
Yeah, we're doing it right. This is our second race in the Eastern Series. Our third and final race will be at the Big House in Crandon, Wisconsin over Labor Day weekend. So be sure to check that out as well. We're also racing at Mid-America Outdoors this weekend, so be sure to tune in. We've got a rodeo tonight. I believe it kicks off at
7 o'clock, I believe, yes.
And then they'll be doing the short course series tomorrow, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's JT Taylor pulling in the screen, our race director.
People were able to go walk they were out making sure course is clear before we start, because you were able to go walk the race course if you wanted to not race course, but the qualifying course.
So we are just moments away. JT Taylor just swept the course like you were saying. There's a few competitors out on this course checking it out, but I think it looks like we have a clear course. So we are just moments away from kicking off the four-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee qualifier, 0.43 miles of a loop. We've got just shy of 90 competitors this weekend, Pam.
That's a lot of
great.
Racers to come to this race on this heat. Lots of other stuff going on this weekend at other places, like you were saying. There's also a race going on in Montana for the people that live up in that area. So it's lots of activity everywhere.
And I think we'll bring in a deal of a run of flow for the rest of the weekend. We've got a schedule that we can throw up. Today we're about to go qualifying for the four-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee. And then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. we will be racing the EMC classes, the 45, the 46, and the 48. At 10:30 a.m. we'll be doing the Youth 170 classes. We've got a handful of those young guys and gals. That'll be a lot of fun. Chris May is helping with that, so thanks to those. And at 11 a.m. we'll kick off the 4900 Can-Am UTV race. That'll be another 5-lap race. And then at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, the 4400 Unlimited race. It's going to be one to watch. I can't wait to just get this action started, Pam.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the races tomorrow, like what the times, think how long the races are going to last. But it's a tough race course out there, so we're hoping to be done around 4:30, 5 o'clock tomorrow. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. But it sounds like we're going to be heading to the start line here just any moment, and we are about to get this kicked off. JT Taylor's giving him the 5 count. So we are live racing. First off the line is Mr. Cody Lust, number 4601, out of Archdale, North Carolina, running his Jeep with Mickey Thompson tires, Method race wheels, and Rad Flow shocks.
And we're going to have camera crews all over the qualifying course. Also, there are 2 different drones that will be up as well. So we'll be giving the best coverage that we can give you out here at the Adventure Off-Road Park.
And then up next will be Jackson Kunkel. So they're heading up that first little rock section I was telling you about. Again, this is a 0.43 mile loop for qualifying for tomorrow's big race. So this is a stock Jeep with 35-inch tires, factory transmission, factory engine, single shock per corner, mechanical steering, stock frame, but you can stretch the wheelbase a little bit. It has to be within 3 inches of factory. There's a shot of our start line.
Moving some cameras around. That actually is the drone right there. But we have quite a few people over here watching us from a side. Some people are over there at their campers watching, but we have
and if
Mr. Rufus over here, Rufus Racing. They're always watching.
If you are anywhere in the area, we're just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, at Adventure Off-Road Park. We're right in the middle of Nashville, Knoxville, Birmingham, and Atlanta. So we're really close to all those major areas. So if you want to come on out, it's going to be an amazing afternoon of qualifying and racing all day long tomorrow. Adventure Off-Road Park is is an amazing place. It's roughly 3,000 people here in the area. Elevation here is right around 600 feet. There's over 500 acres and 120 trails to play with here. So here's that little drop section. This is a super, super steep little section. This is going to be tough for the stock class and the UTVs. The UTVs are definitely a little more nimble, but they'll struggle here a little bit. This is, like I said, about a 5-foot drop. You can see them getting a little wheel stand there.
And don't forget, we also have the stock sportsman class.
Yep, but they can run a bigger tire.
Yes, they can.
There's Benji there watching the step down there.
Oh, you can see Mr. Paul Wolf off to the side there doing his homework.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are out there watching the qualifying course because it obviously changes after every time they come off. So that's off the line next.
4626 of Jackson Kunkel.
Out of Haslett, Texas, with Lone Star Racing in a 1990 Jeep Cherokee with a stock 4-liter AW4 transmission, Rubicon transfer case, Curry Rock Jock axles, carbon shocks, Maxxis, and race line. So we'll get a time for Cody here in just a moment.
Cody's time was a 3:01.292. And you said a 1:11 you think will be eventually the quickest time? Obviously not for these, but
the UTVs and the 4400s will be right around that 1:11 mark is my guess. We'll see how it shakes out. But great run for Cody Lusk. So we'll see Jackson Kunkel come through. So we've got the 4642 up next. That's going to be Adam Collin with Rock Crawler Racing. Be taking off after Jackson Kunkel. So
we got time to catch up with him yesterday. At some point, we'll show an interview of him.
With Adam Collin. So we've got a few of our drones out. Got a few of our cameras out. We're going to bring you some great racing action thanks to Rock Racing TV production crew.
It's definitely thick up there in those woods. They just showed us a great pano of it.
and I believe we're going to wait till they come down that drop section to send the next car, because after that there's not much to come. So JT, you can see here on that PCI race radio waiting for them to say, hey, they're clear of the drop.
And there he is right now at that drop.
So Jackson makes quick work down the drop section.
And like you said, that's the 4642.
So Adam Collin out of Latham, New York with Rock Crawler Racing in a 2004 Jeep LJ. Curry, Yukon, Nitto, Dirty Life, and Rock Crawler suspension help him get to the racetrack.
Remember what he was talking about yesterday too. What's really cool about his Jeep is it's licensed. It has a license plate on it. Yeah. He can take it to the mall, or his wife can take it to the mall.
Yeah, his teammate Diesel Krentz, we were jabbing back and forth to him and Adam, and yeah, they were super just laughing it up that they actually take it to the parts store to get parts for it sometimes.
That's what's super cool about it. He was talking about a race somewhere that he's thinking about actually driving it to. But next up off the line is going to be the 4688 of John Schaefer.
And
Jackson Kunkel, he went through with a 2:17.919.
So Adam Collin out on course as we speak for the 4-wheel parts teardown in Tennessee. As Adam Collin
he hit
smokes a tree. There's a lot of those out here, and they can jump right out in front of you.
They definitely don't move here.
I think, like we were talking about, tires are going to be an issue. Heat's going to be an issue. These trees are going to cause an issue.
Yes, they will. There are some that when they're coming down certain areas of the race course, you can see paint marks on them from people with their roll cages hitting them. And that's the one I believe Benji was saying he doesn't really care for out here on the park, but it's still standing.
There's a few of them out there, that's for sure. This is an amazing park, lots of different terrain. So you can bring out a stock Jeep and all the way up to a rock bouncer and do whatever you want. They've got everything to offer from mild to wild. And again, you mentioned Miss Karen and Benji. They've been out here with Eddie and everybody helping us out with the Adventure Off-Road Park crew, and they've been absolutely amazing to work with. We love coming here. I'm lucky enough to go to a lot of off-road parks, and we really, really like this one.
Yeah, this one has definitely been a good one. And here he's coming down right now off of that drop. See how he makes it down after that tree coming out in front of him.
And they keep kissing these trees out here on course. You see that Nitto tire still holding up, doing well. Adam Collin still making along.
He made that look fairly easy right there. Now off the line, the 4688 of John Schaefer.
Out of Birmingham, Alabama with RPM Extreme with a Savvy-built 2015 Jeep JK stock drivetrain, Curry axles, ADS, Falcon, Raceline, Sparco, and RPM Extreme. He builds and installs GM LS conversion kits for JK. Started racing snowmobiles back in the day. His first King of the Hammers, he was in the pits for Savvy in 2017, and his first race was King of the Hammers 2019. He's been the East National Points Champion in 2019 and 2021, and he took third place at this race last year.
And Adam Collin just came through with a 2:52.880, so that puts him in the number 2 position right now with qualifying. Great coverage right there of John Schaefer out on race course.
This is a 0.43 mile of a loop for qualifying, and the fastest qualifier per class does get 7 points going towards the East, West, and National points. So that's a very important deal for qualifying. That really helps a lot of people out.
Yes, they are. They are
really
scraping.
Yeah, it's super, super steep coming down that drop. So we'll be waiting for him to come through and send out, I believe, the next class. I thought I saw Mick Henson in an old Toyota here, but I don't see him.
I thought I saw it here too as well. But just now, whenever John Schaefer was coming down, it looked like everybody that's taken the right line on that downhill drop is scraping their bumpers. But John Schaefer just came through with a 2:09.145. That puts him in that number 1 position right now.
And I believe that's the only 4600 Spider Track stock class, so it looks like John Schaefer should be the pole setter for the 4600 Spider Track stock class. So look at those 7 points moving forward. So great run by him. So now we're going to move into the 4900 Can-Am UTV class.
And that on screen right there, first up will be the number 24 of Mr. Cole Clark.
He is a super fast young man. So the 4900 Can-Am UTV class will have 3 classes out on course tomorrow and qualifying today. We have this stock production class, OEM frame, 1,000 cc maximum engine, 33-inch tire, stock points, and off the line is Mr. Cole Clark, number 24 out of Cortez, Colorado with Jimmy's 4x4. He's running in the Pro Modified class in an RMS built Polaris RS1 with turbo drivetrain, KMC wheels, rugged, PRP, RCV, HCR, and ZRP. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2018. He has won in Moab twice. He's won Reno, Oklahoma a few times. He's won at the Stampede. Cole Clark is definitely one to watch. Here at King of the Hammers this year, he was the pole setter and was out front early on, but wrecked at race mile 1. He had a terrible tumble, so tough break for him. But I suspect to see great things out of Cole Clark today and tomorrow. Cole Clark is a super fast machine, and I think the RS1's style is extremely helpful here with all the extra visibility. So he's making extremely quick work. This is going to be a fast run, Pam. I think this is going to be a sub-minute 1:30. We'll see if my 1 minute 1:11 will stick.
You said 1:11 and I said 1:35, but I think he's definitely right. That is the 49.06.
That is A.J. Stratman out of High Ridge, Missouri with TTP Racing. He's in a Polaris, King Shocks,
oh,
ARP,
my goodness.
CBR, Factory UTV, RCV, Warren, Factor 55, Braven, Gateway Power, HCR, Hooker Harness, ZRP, Rugged, and Show Me Speed. He's been doing this since 2015 with us. Do we have a time for Cole Clark?
We do not have a time for Cole Clark quite yet. You missed it, Miles, because you were naming off stuff and we didn't have it on screen. But Cole Clark came through that finish line on 2 wheels.
Did a huge bicycle.
Yes, he did.
Cole Clark's definitely pushing hard.
Definitely, for sure. It looks like he came through with a 1:16.075, so that's very, very close.
I bet you my 1:11 is going to be pretty
Yep,
close.
I think it's going to as well.
But I think that 1:16 is going to stand for quite a while. Cole Clark threw down a great run there.
Yeah, he did for sure, but I don't think it's going to stand for sure in the UTV. Oh, I don't know. You never know. There's a lot of hard hitters still to come.
So I was saying earlier, we have the stock production UTV, we have a pro modified UTV, and an open. Open is open, obviously. Pro mod is based on an OEM chassis, but aftermarket chassis are allowed. Must use stock suspension pickup points. Reinforcing is allowed, but you must run full front plastic. You can run up to a 35-inch tire on the pro mods, and the stock is a 33-inch tire. Must use stock suspension points. Reinforcing is allowed there as well, but must run front and rear body.
And that is
It's the 778 of Jason Tidwell out of Gravette, Arkansas with PST Racing. He's got in a Can-Am racing KMC and Fox.
Wow, AJ Stratman just came through with a 1:37.364. So far, we'll see how Cole Clark's time pans out. I know he's always been a fast one, especially out at Moab.
And
he's always been a quick one.
This is a short course, so these UTVs are going to be extremely nimble. So that's going to be a hard time to beat. We'll see how it shakes down. But Cole Clark with that 1:16 doing great things.
I mean, we still have two-time winner here, Mr. Jamie McCoy, that still has to take off the line. We have lots of people to still go.
And then we have a few kings that'll be racing later on today. Josh Byler, Eric Miller will be thrown in the mix. The new up-and-comer, he's not new to off-roading, but he's new to Ultra 4 this year. Mr. Paul Wolf has been really throwing down some things, so it'll be fun to watch later on today. But back on screen is Jason Tidwell with PST Racing, getting ready to come down that little drop section. So Tidwell's coming down the drop section. There's kind of 2 lanes. There's the hard right, and then there's one little one on the left. Actually, there's 3 because sometimes they center that dip.
And that right there, I've been noticing that every UTV has taken that right lane coming down. And there off the line is the 904 of Mike Park.
Out of Callahan, Florida with Team 904 and a Can-Am Maxxis Raceline wheels. Double E Racing. He's been doing his first race was King of the Hammers this year. He comes from mud racing background, but racing Ultra 4 and MAO series this year. So Mike Park's really stepping in the UTV world hot and heavy.
For sure. And the 778 of Jason Tidwell just took over that number 2 spot from AJ Stratman, but number 1 in his stock production class.
What was the time on that, Pam?
He did a 1:37. Oh no, I'm sorry, 1:36.717.
So just a half second faster than Stratman. Yeah, there's 3 classes racing, qualifying and racing in the UTV class. I believe Scott Raymer is the only one in the open class. So the pro mod and the stock, there's a lot in both of those.
And there he is. Everybody has taken that right-hand line coming down in the UTV class. Now, on the stock production, though, they were all taking the right-hand line as us looking at it. And off the line is the number 70 of Mr. Jamie McCoy.
Out of Kingsport, Tennessee with G-Force Racing. He's in a Can-Am X3 C8 built machine. G-Force tuned Fox shocks, STK, MRT tires, Evo Power Sports, Keller ball joints. He is a Can-Am factory off-road racer. He comes from an MX racing. He's been racing off-road on dirt bikes forever, but the last few years he's doing it extremely well. He was the Rookie of the Year back in 2019. He won the Titan Championship that year as well. He was the Ultra 4 Eastern Champion in 2019 and 21. Jamie McCoy, he's definitely a fan favorite. If he can keep away from smoking a tree, he'll be doing some great things.
For sure. And then Mike Park just came through as we were talking about Mr. Jamie McCoy. He is in that number 2 spot with a 1:17.044.
So just a second behind Cole Clark. So Mike Park with a great run. And there's that left-handed line.
And he took the other side.
I was watching McCoy. He took probably 10 laps qualifying. And yesterday during Yesterday during pre-running, he tumbled his pre-runner pretty hard.
Pretty good. Off the line just now is a 9:02, Mr. Patrick Murray, but Jamie McCoy just took that #1 spot with a 1:08.837.
Wow. Shaved off 8 seconds off of Cole Clark. That's super impressive. Patrick Murray, number 902 out of Vass, North Carolina with Murray Off-Road Motorsports. He's in a Can-Am X3, ZRP, RCV, G-Force tuned shocks, MRT, KMC, Warren, and Keller. He started racing Ultra 4 back in 2018. So Patrick Murray is out in the woods playing along, and that just shows you how tight and technical this really is. This course is going to be hard on equipment.
I can't believe he just shaved 8 seconds off of Cole Clark's time.
Cole Clark's fast. We got a lot of people out here helping us. We want to thank all of our volunteers. The entire MAO and Ultra 4 staff is here hot and heavy. It's been a great, great run. Jason and Gail Robinette have really put the right people in the right place. We've got a lot of safety and media out on course, so just thanks to everybody that's making this happen.
And next off the line is going to be the 645 of Zach Pollard.
So we'll get a time for Patrick Murray here pretty shortly.
All right, Patrick Murray just went through. He's in the #4 spot with a 1:36.103.
So Zach Pollard, number 645 out of Fayetteville, North Carolina with East Coast Cowboys Racing. He's in the Pro Modified class in the Can-Am X3, running Maxxis tires, Metal FX, and Fox. So we'll see what kind of time Zach Pollard can throw down. But right now, it is Jamie McCoy to beat with that 1:08. What a smoking run by Jamie McCoy.
Yeah, that was an amazing run. But we know how he does out here. This is like home to him.
If it's a woods race, you think of Jamie McCoy in the
UTV. Exactly, for sure. He's definitely one to reckon with in the woods. All right, next up off the line. I can't quite see that number here.
It's number 900. I believe that's Shaw, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's Robert Parker, sorry. They'll be taking off here shortly.
And he's in the UTV Pro Modified class.
So Zach Pollard with East Coast Cowboys Racing getting ready to drop down the little rock section.
We need to name that.
Oh, but this will only be
just for qualifying.
For qualifying. So we'll use that for the Yukon launch today. How about that?
There we go.
So Robert Parker out of Benson, North Carolina with Team Momentum Racing. He's in a Pro Modified class running a Can-Am, Maxxis, KMC, Fox, Fuel, PSC, PCF, Mr. RPM, and Wheel Pros. So we'll get a time for Zach Pollard.
Yep, Zach Pollard just came through in that #4 position out of 1:28.623.
So I called the 111 earlier, and Cole Clark got that 116. I thought it was going to be hard to beat, and then McCoy goes out there with a 108.
108.
That's
amazing.
If I'm only 3 seconds off, I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be hard to beat that. But I really do think so.
Do you think it's going to be hard for the 4400s to beat that?
I think so. I think on the big lap, the 4400s cars will probably be a little bit faster. But on the short lap, the UTVs are going to be hard.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
because they're so nimble and all that. So
yeah, definitely. They definitely
exciting.
can maneuver better on race course with the shorter wheelbase.
Again, thank you for each and every one of you for tuning in and being here on site for the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee at Adventure Off-Road Park. As Robert Parker comes down.
All right, next up off the line is going to be the 144 of Cameron Mink.
And that is Chicky Barton's nephew. It's great to see that coming through. So Cameron Mink, number 144 out of Middlesboro, Kentucky with Chicky Barton Racing. He's in the Pro Modified class running a Polaris, BFG, Vision, Fox, Next Level Motorsports, and Star Septic. It's great to see Cameron out here. I believe he rode with Chicky Barton at Rush this year, but this is his first time actually in the driver's seat. So Cameron Mink, it'll be exciting to see how he does. And I know Chicky Barton's sitting here watching. And if you don't recognize that name, you should. He's been racing Ultra 4 for quite a while, was very successful. He got third at King of the Hammers one year. He's won a few of the Ultra 4 races, and then he stepped away. It's great to see him back and having fun with his nephew.
And the 900 of Robert Park came through with a 121.135. That puts him in the 4th position. We have lots of UTs. It's obviously the largest registration class.
And if you're here on site, be sure to check out the MAO Ultra 4 merchandise trailer. We have Angel, Carly, Bailey, Tristan, and the entire crew over there, and they bring a little bit of everything. And we got a rollover.
That's the 144.
That's, Cameron Meek, that's Chicky Barton's nephew. He's probably, I'm going to guess, 15, 16 years old, and he hit the Yukon launch just a little wrong and flopped her right on over. So tough break for Cameron Meek. He'll take a rear start tomorrow's race. But remember, this will be on adjusted time.
Oh, you know, we have our recovery crew right there, and these cars are so light, they're able to just flip it right back over without a winch, as you just saw on screen.
And I don't think he hurt the car hardly at all, so he'll probably let it set for just a minute. Bill, one of our camera guys over there helping as well. Everybody's always here to help everybody.
What is his vehicle that was on Truck Night in America? Grim Creeper.
Yep.
Oh, so he's a well-seasoned recovery as well, is what we're hearing over radio.
He's head of recovery for the
Eddie
Rock
out there
racing
as well.
Saw Caleb and Weaver out there throwing their hands in. And again, we want to just give a huge shout out to everybody, but especially Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive, Mid-America Outdoors, the Off-Road Syndicate, Holly EFI, Lasernut, Griffin, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto, and King Shocks, and King of the Hammers. So please support who supports the sport. Without all these amazing partners, we would not be racing here at Adventure Off-Road Park today. Today is qualifying, getting everything all set up for tomorrow's big race. We'll be kicking off at 8 a.m.
Oh, and next off the line is going to be the number maybe, right? 06 of Papa Poe.
So we'll make sure the course is clear before we send Poe out. Again, this is the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. There are 3 classes racing at the same time, so it'll be a little tricky, but we'll do our best. Again, go to live.ultra4racing.com for tomorrow's race for the live scoring. You can do it for today for qualifying as well, but for tomorrow during the race to kind of see who's doing what in what class, go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing.
So, Miles, really quick while we're on a hiatus, we have Mr. Jamie McCoy in that number 1 spot with a 108.837. Cole Clark in that number 2 spot with a 116.075. Mike Park in that 3rd position at a 117.044. Robert Parker in that 4th position at a 121.135. Zach Pollard, 5th position at a 128.623. And Jason Tidwell in that 6th position at a 136.
And off the line is Philip Papa Poe out of Shannon, Mississippi. He's running the Pro Modified class. He's got a Can-Am, MRT, Jamie McCoy Racing, G-Force Racing, NOS Suspension, JW Performance, CA Technologies, MRT, Raceline, and Fox. His first Ultra 4 race was the Dirty Turtle back in 2019. And this year, the first race of the season, he got 3rd place at the MAO 918. So Papa Poe's definitely be a fun one to watch. He puts that Can-Am through its paces. And again, the stock production class, you have to have a OEM chassis, 1,000 cc maximum engine, 33-inch tires, must run front body and side panels. That's kind of the big difference between the Pro Mod and the 33-inch tire. Pro Mod, you can have an aftermarket chassis, but based on an OEM style. Must run stock suspension points, reinforcing is allowed, must run full front plastics, and up to a 35-inch tire. As Poe comes down the Yukon launch, he's running strong. We'll see if he can beat out Jamie McCoy. They're kind of teammates.
Next off the line is the 5012, Mr. Brian Stone.
He's been doing really good lately as well.
All right, Mr. Poe came through. Let's see what his time is. It is a 124.401. That puts him in that 5th position.
So off the line there was Brian Stone, number 5012 out of Edders, Pennsylvania, with Brian Stone Racing. He's in the Pro Modified class running that Can-Am X3, RCV, G-Force tuned Fox shocks, Maxxis Raceline wheels, MRT, Walker Evans, Big B, CT Raceworks, Hess Keller, and Jason Watt. His first Ultra 4 race was at AOAA in Pennsylvania back in 2018. So Brian Stone out on course doing some good things. So Brian Stone makes quick work down the Yukon drop there. And tomorrow we will have the AMSOIL and HCR hot pits, but today we don't need them.
Next on the line is going to be the 926 of Tyler Gibbs.
Do we have a time for Brian Stone?
Brian Stone just came through the 4th position at a 119.410.
There's also a great barbecue joint here on site, so if anybody's hungry, make sure you go over there and check them out.
Barbecue, they have nachos with kind of ballpark kind of food over there. I had the nachos for lunch.
And tonight, Mid-America Outdoors is doing a driver's appreciation dinner at 6 p.m., so if you want to come over and mingle with any of the drivers, come on over. That's what it's all about, is just hanging out, and that's just our way for Mid-America and Old Sport to say thanks for you racing with us.
And that was Tyler Gibbs, the 926 off the line.
Out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky, running the Pro Modified class in a Can-Am, MRT, Method, and Fox shocks.
I love the start when we're watching, because you're going through the sponsors with the drivers, but there are like 3 little tiny kickers right here off the start. It's pretty cool to see.
So Tyler Gibbs is out there running strong. If you're just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. You can go to the ultra4racing.com/live. You can go to the MAO app and watch it there as well. Go to Ultra4 and MAO Facebook and YouTube's. Use the hashtags, start a watch party, share it, and blow it up. That's what it's all about. We need all your help to make it that much better. We have Tyler Gibbs out on course. And taking off nine.
395
of Cameron Zollers out of Canton, Ohio, with Cam's Motorsports and a Polaris Turbo S Super Grip tires, Raceline wheels, Walker Evans shocks, and RCV. But we have our pole setter, Mr. Jamie McCoy. You just threw down a smoking run out there. How was it?
Yeah, it's really good. You know that CA G-Force car, just Can-Am, it did really good, man. I had a flat, but Gary said bring it home there at the end. You know, it's
so you
it's
got
a
a
flat.
108 with the flat tire?
It got a flat right there at the end. He says bring it on, and you know, you had to hit the rock, so it gave me a flat. Normally you check up a little bit right there, but
during qualifying, it's
yeah,
that
you got to go. You got to go. But we'll see if it holds. You know, you got some hot rods coming up, but I got a really good car, man. My family's here for the first time. My wife and daughter, and
it's awesome.
It's
to have
good
him
stuff,
here.
man.
Yeah,
it's
usually
good
right
stuff.
after the race, you guys race early normally. Yeah. Right after the race, you just want to get home to the family. Well, now they're here with you, so you get to hang out and watch, don't you?
It's good stuff, man. It really is. She's met a lot of nice friends here, and my wife's been mingling around with some people. So
yeah, right after
really,
you
really
ran,
nice.
I got to meet her right after you ran today.
Oh yeah. I've told her about all you guys. I may have talked a little nicer about her.
Hey, I don't blame you one bit, buddy.
All right, maybe that thing will hold up. I hope it will. I'd like to be the rabbit in the morning, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, it'll all shake out, and it'll be a fun one to watch. I want to get your perspective on this course. How was it? I mean, it's tight, it's technical. The rocks are hard.
Starting with the qualifying right there, I must have made 15 laps on it there or something.
Morning,
I just kept looking to see little things, but I got these elderly eyes, and when I went into the woods, it's way darker now than it was. So I was like, oh wow, it's coming at me pretty fast. But
so I was talking about that. I think that's going to be even a bigger part of tomorrow when it's a lot dustier with the sun and the shade. I think that's going to be a little tricky. So starting up front is going to be a huge advantage. Yeah,
there's some spots in there, that. Even once you get in the woods here just a little bit, it's bringing up some moisture. There's we're digging pretty deep on it, so it's I think it's going to be real good.
Yeah, the 395. They're getting out of the car right here, Mr. Cameron Zollers. Not sure what happened. Is that right before the drop, I believe, Jamie?
Yes.
So yeah, he'll take a rear start. So tough break for Cameron Zollers.
So I have to say, Jamie, before the racing or the qualifying starts, Miles always, throws out a time of what he thinks the best time is going to be. I actually threw out a time today.
She was
way off. You actually beat the time that Miles said. He said a 1:11, and you got a 1:08.
Cool. Maybe it'll hold up. We're going to JT laid out a really nice race course for us tomorrow. There's plenty of places to pass.
There's lots of. I think there's 12 either ors.
Yeah, 12 either ors, and there's. Even on the main line, there's several places you can pass, and most of these guys, you give them a horn or something, you get to them, and they pretty respectful anyways. But man, we got a real good car. I hope it holds up for us. We're going to, I promise we'll give it a 110% tomorrow for sure.
And I assume you'll be coming to Visions here in just about a
month,
sir. Right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to.
Have you been to that park yet?
Yep. I've been there, once. It's amazing.
You went to Visions last year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We down on race this year. This is just my third race out. 3 years ago we raced 34 races. So
wow.
We've checked it up a little bit, but we're going to hit selective ones, and I'm 0 for 2 this year so far. So. I'll bring my A game tomorrow.
If I'm not mistaken, you won last year, right?
I did, yeah.
So you're here to back up when you're on that pole.
Then you win the year before, too, so this will be your three-peat if you get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think your time can hold up for qualifying over a 4400 car? I think you have an advantage because you're a little more nimble on this short course.
I think it'll hold up.
You think so? All right.
Like
I said, I called that 1:11 earlier, and you got that 1:08. I think it's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, we got you got a couple studs coming up at you right here. We'll see what happens, but I like to go early and get it over with. See what happens.
You can kind of relax and chill. And
thank you guys so much, man. I look forward till tomorrow, and you guys do a great job.
Well,
and,
thank you. You do too.
To all my sponsors, Gary, they're at G-Force and CA and Can-Am and MRT Tires. They just. I'm running a little bit different than most of them. I'm running a Desert Storm tomorrow. I like the tire. I probably would have went with the XGs if I'd have had a few extra sets, but I would have been a little bit thin on them, so I stayed with the
and let's talk about that because Pam and I were talking earlier. I think tires are going to be a huge issue. If you can keep a tire on your car tomorrow, it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be the name of the game.
I run all day today, and yesterday, no flats. And I punished it pretty good. But, I got one in qualifying. But we're right on the bubble whether to take a spare or not. And, the spare makes the car handle different. I like the flat feel. When you put a tire on it, it changes the car. But
and I know my buddy Jeremy Dixon's here, and he was talking about riding with you. Are you taking a co-driver tomorrow?
I am. He's going with me. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
It's great to see him. I've worked with him at Ultra 4 for quite a while. Then he stepped away, and it's great to see him here back and enjoying himself.
Yep. So. I took a little vacation there, and he actually went in and worked on the car some with Gary there, and they had her ready to go. I got to.
So you go on vacation and come back to
and it was easy. I actually called when I got back and said if there was anything to do, but I kind of may have waited a little bit too late. So
that was perfect timing.
It was great. It was good. I'm gonna roll out of here and get back with the family, but we'll see you here in a minute, man.
All right, Jamie.
Yes,
always
sir.
a pleasure. Thanks, and good luck. We'll see you for time 6. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
So Cameron Zoller still on screen. There's Eddie and Caleb trying to get him righted and figure out the issue and get him off course.
It looks like he's kind of wedged there maybe. I'm not sure what the direction is he's going, but if he's right before that downhill, that's where they're going to make a right-hand turn right before, or right after those trees. Okay. We did some interviews yesterday with some of the drivers that of each class, which was a lot of fun. And we're in that 4900 Can-Am class. We did one with Dustin Robbins, so at some point maybe we can show that up. There's Weaver on screen there, part of the Recovery Mid-America crew.
We also need to thank USAC. They're our sanctioning body and will run timing and scoring, race operations, safety tech, and like I said, we have Leo Donald, 23, our USAC rep here on site. Need to give them a huge shout out for helping everything run smooth. And again, we just can't say thanks enough to Jason and Gail Robinette. They put a great team together with Mid-America and Ultra 4. We've got an amazing volunteer list here. The Ultra 4 and MAO crews on site. They've been working all week long. We've got a lot of media out there, helping everybody out, lots of safety. And so we just want to thank everybody for helping put this race on. And Benji, Eddie, and Karen, part of the AOP crew, we've been working side by side with them, and they've just been a huge help. And if you're trying to figure out where to watch this thing, get on that MAO app. That's absolutely awesome. We'll be switching back between the 4-wheel parts teardown in Tennessee here at AOP and back at MAO in Jay, Oklahoma. They got a rodeo tonight that kicks off at 7 o'clock. So if once we get done qualifying tonight, tune into the rodeo tonight. It's going to be great. And then tomorrow we'll be racing here, and they will be racing at Mid-America Outdoors. So be sure to tune in to both. You can go to the Ultra 4 and MAO Facebook and YouTube. And while we still trying to get Cameron Zollers correct, we're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
Of off-road racing dominance, proprietary patented race technology, proudly made in the USA, unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions, King Shocks, the leader in off-road shock technology.
So I'm down here with Dustin Robbins in the All Things UTV pit with this 4900 car, and if I remember right, you took this thing for a pretty good tumble here recently, but you got it back together.
Yeah, we crashed at Rush during qualifying and came back from 34th and secured a podium position there. And then we did some upgrades to the car, and during shakedown, we actually crashed it again, which is becoming a bad habit, but it's, a comeback story. Once again, here's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and comeback's what you're going to try to do. And we're in Tennessee. The woods are tight. This is going to be fast. What's your kind of game plan out there?
I've raced this course plenty of times, and I've had decent success here. I've always finished here. And I never try to take anything from this course. I take what it gives me. So.
And if I remember right, McCoy's the one that won this race last year, so he's got a little target on his back. How hard are you going to run to try to chase him down?
I have a totally different suspension this year. My head shouldn't be moving and my kidneys shouldn't be bleeding after the course, so I expect to be faster for
Yeah, well, it's going to be fun to watch you. You're always a fan favorite for sure. If I remember right, this is a 6-mile course roughly. You guys are going to run, I think, 5 laps. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be wide open from start to finish. The rocks are big, the trees are tight, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
We've prepared the car for the tight trees and the rocks. We have a couple different tire combinations. The main thing that's going to be cool here is my family will be here.
And that's what it's all about with Ultra 4 racing in Mid-America is family first. I mean, it's that's what it's all about. You're here to have fun, and if you can't do it with your family, what can you do it with? You know what I mean?
And I like the venue for 4900s at 11 o'clock now. That makes it more conducive for the family to come out and watch. So.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it shakes out. Best of luck with you, and always a pleasure, my man.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Miles.
With Mr. Miles and Dustin Robbins interview. That's fun to get out in the pits and talk to the drivers.
It's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, that's part of my job is I bounce around the pits and get to chat everybody, kind of get the down low. I'll definitely do that tonight at the Racer Appreciation Dinner too, and just kind of what's going on, how the qualifying go, what's wrong with your car. Oh man, you're trying to put a transmission in tonight. It's always fun to trying to get the low down, the skinny on what's going down.
All right, and that is the 113. I have Aaron Lynch off the line.
Out of Powell, Tennessee with MFN Performance in a Can-Am MFN, Lynchworks, CA Technologies, TinFab, Maxxis, STI, G-Force, Fox, and Right Coast Off-Road. His first Ultra 4 race was Rush, Kentucky last year. So we'll see what kind of time Aaron Lynch can do. And we just saw Cameron Zollers having some issues. We saw Cameron Meek with an issue earlier. So we've already got 2. I think the attrition is going to be extremely high tomorrow with all the tires, all the trees, with the heat. I think the heat is going to be an issue not only on the car, on the person, and like fuel systems and brakes and everything.
Exactly.
This heat's going to be rough on equipment.
Well, and not only that, too, we're talking about tires and everything. It's what's going to happen, too, is out there on the race course, some of the areas where the water is right before some of the rock climbs, it's like slippery. It's like ice. So it's definitely going to be issues there as well of how sticky their tires are.
And then some of those trees will jump right out in front of you.
Yes, they do.
During qualifying, I was out there watching. If you take just a bad bounce, they can really put you off. And
the rocks like to do that, too.
Absolutely.
Next up off the line here shortly will be the number 33 of Cody Quattlebaum.
So Aaron Lynch making quick work of the Yukon launch. So Cody Quattlebaum, number 33 out of Macon, Georgia with Bandit Off-Road Racing. He's in a Polaris Turbo Razor, Warren, Brannick, MRT, Rugged, Ozio, Kelly Performance, Cass Lake Metals, Walker Evans Shocks, Trinity Racing, Aftermarket Assassins, Kryptonite Suspension, and KWT. His first Ultra 4 race was Rush, Kentucky last year as well.
All right, Aaron Lynch just came through in the number 113 with a 129.867. That puts him in the 9th position.
And still fastest time of the day is Mr. Jamie McCoy with a 1:08.
Off the line, that'll be up next will be the number 40 of Jeremy Blackburn in that RS1.
So Cody Quattlebaum out in the woods with Bandit Off-Road Racing. They're starting to grow that program. It's been fun to follow along. Make sure you go to everybody's social media and give them a follow, give them a like. It makes a big thing for a lot of people. And make sure you go to MAO and Ultra 4 Racing and do the same. Cody taking the inside line there. This drop is no joke. JT and I were out earlier this week marking course, and we went down it, and he's like, I'm putting this in the qualifying run. I said, heck yeah, buddy. So Jeremy Blackburn out of Pikeville, Kentucky with On the Gas Racing. He's in a Polaris RS1, Tusk, and Walker Evans. He got first place this year in Rush, Kentucky. So we'll get a time for Cody Quattlebaum here shortly.
Cody Quattlebaum came through in the number 10 position with a 132.275.
So very solid run. Remember, there are 3 different classes qualifying within the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. There's Jeremy Blackburn on screen with On the Gas Racing. Those RS1 Polaris Razors, I think, have a great just a great way to see. Lots of viewing area. May have another issue, not quite sure.
We have another guest over here with us too, Mr. Papa Poe, and that is 06, sitting in that number 7 position right now.
Yeah, you made that Can-Am look pretty good today. How was it out there?
We had a pretty good run. We got confused, man. You get in the woods, it gets real dark.
That's what Jamie said, the same thing.
And we got up the ditch pretty good and got confused as to where the right-hand turn was. And somewhere back, I guess when we crossed the rock garden, we blew a tire and a rim and just had to bring it home the best we could.
All right, off the line is the 470 of Levi Metzinger.
Nope, that's a 470 Adam Kinetic.
Oh, whoops, I said the wrong one. Sorry.
Moreland, Indiana with Kinetic Customs Racing. He's in the
wrong
Pro
number.
Mod class. He's in a Polaris MRT Brannick G-Force. This is James Cantrell's old car. Great to see it still out running. But what did you think of the qualifying run, Poe?
Oh, I think it's a great qualifying course. It adds a little bit of what we got to deal with tomorrow.
Yeah. Today's only a half mile. Tomorrow's a 6 mile. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I didn't get to run here last year. We were running another series for a championship and didn't get to come. And everybody talked about how bad it had gotten from the year before, and then everybody's talking about how bad it had gotten since last year.
It's rough.
It's a rough road, man. Very few times do we have tire problems with MRT. We've had great tires, but this course is brutal on tires.
So what is your strategy going in tomorrow? How hard are you running? You going to run 80%, 90%? I think attrition's going to set in.
Game plan was to come and run as hard as we could run, but after coming and playing the course.
All right, we have 86 right now. Paul Wolf going off the line.
Paul Wolf out of Brighton, Illinois with Wolf Racing. He's in a Can-Am, MRT, Raceline, HCR, CA Technology, G-Force, Zollinger Racing Products, MAO, EBC Brakes, RCV, and Halo Lockers. This year he got 3rd place at King of the Hammers. He got 1st place in Rush, Kentucky this year as well. This guy is on a roll, and we'll get to see him later on today in the 4,400 class as well. So did we just get a time? Who did we get a time for there, Pam? Adam Kinnett?
Yes, he came through in the number 8 position at a 124.825, and Jeremy Blackburn came through right before him in the 14th position at a 202.122.
But out on course, the man on a mission this season so far is Mr. Paul Wolf. But Poe, it's always a pleasure. Best of luck. Great to see you, and have fun,
sir.
man.
Appreciate it.
And look at Paul Wolf. He is on fire right now. This is going to be a really close time, close to Jamie McCoy with that 108. Is he going to be able to bump him out? We are about to find out. So we'll get a time for Paul Wolf, and it's going to be a fast one. I promise you that.
Off the line, I believe that was the 296 of Cody Martin. Oh, that was actually Levi Metzinger, the 823. We did not catch the number on the car.
So Levi Metzinger out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania with Levi Metzinger Racing. He's in a Can-Am, RCV, PRP seats, MRT, muscle race wheels, G-Force shocks, NRP, HCR, Dynojet, Keller ball joints, Simpson, and Daybreak Trucking. His first Ultra 4 race was Battle in the Bluegrass back in 2019. So do we have a time for Paul Wolf yet? It didn't come through. We're watching the live.ultra4racing.com, but we know that's going to be a fast run. Levi Metzinger was having some issues yesterday out on the course, had a dead battery, but was able to get out there and get him recovered. I see his dad right here with a jump box just in case. It looks like up next is going to be Mr. Dustin Robbins out of Decatur, Alabama with All Things UTV. He's in a Can-Am, All Things UTV, Vision Wheels, Super ATV, KMC, BFG, Walker Evans, Dragon Fire Seats, KB3, Warren Bikeman Performance, and G4 Shocks. His first Ultra 4 race was Crossbar 2017. He's raced multiple different series, but great to see him racing with us here at Ultra 4.
All right, Levi Metzinger in the 823 just came through in the 8th position out of 122.982. So he's right there up there in that top 10 right now.
What was Paul Wolf's? Nope, still. So it looks like Paul Wolf with a 114 possibly.
There we are. Yes, he has a 114.417, puts him in that number 2 spot.
So still 6 seconds. Paul Wolf is a fast guy. So if Jamie McCoy has him by 6 seconds, I think that 108 is going to stick for quite some time. And even with the 4,400 cars and the EMC cars, I think that 108 is going to be hard to beat. So did we get a time for Levi Metzinger?
Yes, we did. He's in that number 8 spot at a 122.982.
What was it? Sorry, Pam?
122.982.
122 for Levi.
That's a 49.54 off the line. And Dustin Robbins just came off course. Let's see what his time's going to be. In the 11th position at a 125.798.
And that was Trey Price that just took off, the 49.54. There's a lot going on here, so I apologize if we miss a few things here and there, but we're doing our best to bring you some of the best racing action that Ultra 4 and Mid-America Outdoors can bring you. What was the time for Dustin Robbins?
He is in the 11th position at a 125.798 for Mr. Dustin Robbins.
And now Trey Price is out on course.
And remember, you that are at home watching, they are in different classes of UTVs, but they will all qualify and start as their starting position will be as they qualify today. So let's go ahead and run through the top 5 here really quick. We have Jamie McCoy in that number 1 position.
With a 108.
With a 108.837. We have Mr. Paul Wolf, the number 86 in that number 2 position. The 926 of Trey Gibbs in 3rd. In the 4th position, the number 24 of Cole Clark. And the 904 of Mike Park in that number 5 position.
So off the line, that's his first time. That's Alex Rose. It's his first race with us. He's in a Polaris running Fox Shocks. We'll get a time for Trey Price here shortly.
Trey Price just came through in the 17th position at a 138.249. So my 135 was way off.
Yeah, it's a...
That was a bad call.
Well, you never know. I just kind of make up whatever, but usually have a good grasp on it. And I was 3 seconds off. I'll take that today for sure.
Good thing we don't bet.
I'll bet. Let's bet right now. I bet you mine's better than yours.
Yeah. Can I change my number?
Again, we want to thank Can-Am, Holly, Lasernut, Ford, Bronco, Griffin, VP Racing Fuels, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, Nitto, King Shocks, 4-Wheel Parts, and Progressive. These are the official sponsors of Ultra 4 Racing, and they would not be doing this today without them, so please support who supports the sport.
Next off the line that is sitting there waiting for his turn is the 817 of Brian Hamby.
So Brian Hamby next off the line.
And there he goes, taking that green flag. And Alex Rose just came through in that number 18 position at a 138.987.
So that was Brian Hamby, the number 817 out of Winchester, Tennessee, with limited budget racing. He's in a Can-Am Extreme Razor Performance, CA Technologies, Turner Cycles, Trinity Racing, Halo, KMC, Bohr, Maxxis, KMC, and Fox. His first Ultra 4 race was Moab this year. So did we get a time for Alex Rose?
Yes, Alex Rose in the 18th position, the 119 of Alex Rose with the 138.987. All right, we have some issues going on here with the 817 out there on race course of Mr. Brian Hamby. Not sure what's going on, if he's off race course already, but he is definitely stopped.
So tough break for Brian Hamby, but he'll be taking a rear start in tomorrow's race for the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee at the Adventure Off-Road Park. We'll be kicking off tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and we'll be live racing all day long. So if you can't get here, be sure to tune in. But if you're anywhere in the area, we're just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, so we're smack in the middle between Nashville, Knoxville, Birmingham, and Atlanta. So please come on out. It's going to be a great spectator. We've got a great pavilion with a lot of shade. We've got the Jumbotron here on site. We got the Mid-America Ultra 4 merchandise trailer here. We got the Portacools in there, so come on down and enjoy some amazing racing.
All right, off the line.
That is the 118 of Matthew Walraven out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina. He's running a Can-Am, MRT tires, Method race wheels, and G-Force shock tuning. And the time to beat thus far is Mr. Jamie McCoy. And in the 4600 Spider Track stock class on that pole position was Mr. John Schaefer, who was in third place last year.
And Matthew Walraven has a little one out here that's going to be racing in the 170s tomorrow as well.
You are correct, yep.
Alexander Walraven.
Yeah, the 170s are a lot of fun to watch.
I have to say I've been getting feedback from parents and other people that do watch like our short course racing at Mid-America and all of these Ultra 4 races where the 170s race. That's like a class favorite of a lot of people. Of course, the parents love it, but other people love the recognition that the kids are getting as well.
Again, the 4900 Can-Am UTV class has 3 different classes qualifying right now and racing tomorrow as we're watching Walraven on screen hitting the Yukon drop. So that's the number 253 of Mitch Wofford out of Ashland City, Tennessee with Razor Extreme and another Polaris RS1, STI Rocktanes, OMF, Elka, and Rhino. He's been UTV racing since he was 10 years old, and he's the current champion at IXCR. He got second place at Rush, Kentucky this year.
And Matthew Walraven just came through. Matthew Walraven came through in the number 19th position out of 146.
So 146 for Matthew Walraven. So this is the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. It's been a wonderful day of qualifying thus far, and we are just getting started.
And that was a 2.53 of Mitch Wofford just now going down that drop. And off the line right now is the 722 of Carson Atkins.
Out of Seymour, Tennessee with Devone 722 Racing. He's in the Pro Modified class. He's in a new-to-him Yamaha YXE 1000, running Nitto tires, Raceline wheels, and a Fox shocks. His first Ultra 4 race was the Crossbar Ranch back in 2019. So Carson Atkins got this car. I was talking to him and his dad earlier today, and they were running strong, or doing lots of work on this car to get it going. And they had the old car completely tore down, brought in this new car and completely rebuilt it, tore it down, welded all the frame up, got it all going. But so they got a complete spare parts car. They've got an extra engine, extra transmission now, and it is cool to see the father-son duo working on the car, getting it going. Carson raced King of the Hammers this year. He raced with us at Rush, Kentucky. It's great to see Carson out here battling.
After this run, it's coming in and out. You're good.
Carson hitting the Yukon drop as we speak.
And up next is the 417 of Mr. Justin Barth.
Justin Barth out of Springfield, Missouri with Barth Racing. He'll be doing double duty today and tomorrow in the 4800 class as well. Right now he's in his Polaris running RCV, MRT, Walker Evans, Warren Hess, PCI, G-Force, Keller Performance, HCR, and ZRP. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2014. He's been racing with us for quite some time.
Clyde, we might have to get Bill some more Teardown batteries out there.
So Justin Barth making his way through the woods. If you're just tuning in, we want to thank you very much for tuning in. This is a 0.43 mile qualifier for tomorrow's big race. Tomorrow is a 6 mile loop.
It's going to be a long 6 miles, though.
It's going to be long. They'll be racing 5 laps in this class, 4 laps in the stock class, and 7 laps for the 4400 class. And everybody else will be running this 5 lap, all the EMCs, except for the stock class. So stock is running 4 laps, everybody else is running 5, and then the 44s will be running 7 laps at 6 miles apiece.
All right, and off the line just now, the 182 of Heath Taylor.
Having James King riding shotgun with him out of Pea Ridge, Arkansas with Taylor Racing. He's in a Polaris Razor. BFG, Warren Walker Evans. He started out in motocross, caught the KOH bug when he helped in the pits in 2018. His first race with us was King of the Hammers 2020. James King, we've liked seeing him out there. His brother Scotty King runs around out at the ranch with us quite a bit, helping out.
And Justin Barth, the 417, came through at the 16th position at a 1:30.050.
Very respectful run by Barth. And tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. we'll kick off the EMC class.
Next up off the line
is number 17, Jay Shaw with Bryce Lane riding shotgun, as we're watching Justin Barth make his way through this half-mile course. This is setting everything up for tomorrow's big race. You start where you qualify. Remember, there are 3 UTV classes. We have the stock production, we have the Pro Mod, and the Open. So waiting for Justin Barth to come down the Yukon drop. Just coming into screen. One of our drones back there hovering around. This will give you a pretty good shot on how steep this is.
Flat and moving. Tyler's still acting up.
So number 17, Jay Shaw out of Springville, Alabama with Adventure Lifestyle, running a Can-Am built by CT Raceworks. This is Kyle Chaney's King of the Hammers winning car this year. He wants to give a huge shout out to Adventure Lifestyle. It's the only way he's back racing with us. He took a little break off, but they really stepped up in a big way to make it work for Jay Shaw and Bryce Lane. His first Ultra 4 race was the Dirty Turtle back in 2018. So we have a time for...
yes, Mr. Heath Taylor just came in. He's in that 23rd position at a 1:46.931, but a 7th position in his UTV stock production class.
So Jamie McCoy still has the time to beat with that 1:08 fastest lap of the day. Will that get bumped out? I'm not sure. I think that time's going to hold.
I think it's going to be a very, very good time that he's going to keep right there all day long. Didn't we have in Moab, didn't we have a UTV number 1 on the qualifying, or was that in Kentucky?
They all blur together. I apologize.
Run together.
Oh, here's number 502 of James Cantrell. He got that car running last night, I'm sure. Number 502, James Cantrell out of Louisville, Kentucky. with Mad Ram 11 Racing in the Pro Modified class. He's in a Polaris Pro XP, HCR, BFG, Keller, Zollinger, Brannick, all things UTV, and PRP. His first Ultra 4 race was in 2013 in the 4500 class. He moved up to the 4400 class. Now he's back down to the UTV class, and I believe he's going to step into the stock class here soon. That UTV's running right now is for sale, so if you want to come racing with us here at Ultra 4, get a hold of James Cantrell and buy this UTV and go racing.
And Jay Shaw just came through, Miles, in that number 5 position with a 1:15.884.
So a very good run for Jay Shaw in that Can-Am. But out on course right now is Mr. James Cantrell.
Tyler, you good?
And speaking of the YouTube and everything, you can go to the MAO or Ultra 4, but he's racing for Mad Ram 11. They do an amazing coverage on a lot of off-road stuff, so be sure to go check out Mad Ram 11.
Yeah, it's still cutting in and out, bud.
And I believe James Cantrell will be our last UTV qualifying today, so we're missing a few names. They'll be taking a rear start, but that's just fine. Tomorrow's race will be on adjusted time. So
yes, James Cantrell is another beast out here on race course.
So
let's see, he came through in the 10th position, so he's going to round out the 10th position here today at a 1:22.025.
So it sounds like it's going to be Mr. Jamie McCoy, the time to beat. So he's on that pole position for tomorrow's race. So again, we need to give a huge shout out to Can-Am, Holley, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive, Holley, Lasernut, Griffin, VP, Nitto, King of the Hammers, Amsoil, Method, Axial RC Cars, Spider Tracks, Recaro Seats, Baja Jerky, PCI Race Radios, ARB, Rigid, Brannick Motorsports, Tread Latley, Action Sports Canopy, Warren, Factor 55, HCR, Yukon Gear and Axle, MBRP, and Off the Grid Clothing are the official sponsors of Ultra 4 Racing. We also have Mid-America Outdoors, the Off-Road Syndicate, Ultimax Belts, and 360 Wraps. So please support who supports the sport. Without all these amazing partners, we would not be racing here today for the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee.
Come back with that, what'd you say? Send Matt with an HDMI, micro HDMI, send him to Bill's truck.
It looks like first off the line in the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class will be Troy Digby. In the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, you can have 2.5 shocks per corner, limited to 14 inches of travel. Mechanical steering, a maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire, and a front-mounted engine, but unlimited horsepower. So Troy Digby, number 4514, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, with Outlaw Off-Road. He's in a built Jeep with an LS 5.3, Turbo 400, Atlas, Dana 60 up front, 14-bolt in the rear, Fox, Maxxis, Raceline, Corbo, Barnes 4-wheel drive. He got second place early on this year at the 918 at Mid-America Outdoors. So Troy Biggie out on course.
And you've been saying a lot of North Carolina people.
There's a bunch of them out there, isn't there, Pam?
Yeah, including me. Except I'm not out there.
And it's only, what, you said a 5-hour drive for you?
It took me about 4.5 hours to get here.
So I'm just getting word from Casey Gilbert. His son Aiden Gilbert, that's racing in the 4900 class, is going to take a rear start. He dropped the earlier in pre-running. He dropped the big drop and hurt his neck a little bit. So he's just taking the day off, and he'll take a rear start, which is fine. This race will be on adjusted time. So hopefully he can get rested and get back going. We'll see his dad qualifying later on today in the 4400 class.
Looks like we have Tommy Warren from Phoenix, Arizona tuning in here on Facebook, and thanks for watching. And Matthew, Carrie Ann, they were rooting for Mr. Papa Poe. He did awesome out there. So make sure if you're out there on Facebook, you're sharing our live feed and letting everybody know that tomorrow's race day, and it's going to be all day long.
And we've got a new racer up next, number 4513 of Bob Humanchuk. And on the side of this car, where the sponsors usually go, it says, your business name here. So Bob Humanchuk, number 4513 out of Richmond Heights, Ohio, with Nocturnal Motorsports. He's in a Jeep-built buggy. LS, BFG, Raceline, Fox. This is his first race with Ultra 4 Racing.
We have a lot of newbies out here, as we were saying earlier. Next up off the line is going to be Diesel Krentz, another North Carolina person.
And he debuted his Ultra 4 debut was 1 year ago here at AOP. So
yes, it was.
Great to see him back out here racing once again. So what are some qualifying times, Pam, for Troy Bigby?
Troy Digby, he went through with a 2:01.055.
So that's the fastest time for the 4500 Yukon gear and axle modified class. So tomorrow's EMC race at 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll have 4 different races going on at the same time. So on track right now is Bob Humanchuk. And we've got the fastest qualifier for the 4600 Spider Track stock class, Mr. John Schaefer, joining us here in the Nitto booth. How you doing, John?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, always a great time. You had a good run out there, and you're sitting up front.
Yeah, we brought another car to pre-run in and went out there and hit those rocks on that qualifying course and just tore it up.
So you tore up the pre-runner, huh?
Yeah. So I'm like, let's just go out, take it easy. Where we start, we start. And we went out there and it felt smooth, so I kept going. I'm like, I want to take that left line, even if I had to do a backup. But I came in, hooked the wheel, let it pivot.
So it worked out perfect, huh?
Yep. So it worked out really good. We had that nice little drop. Probably looked really good on camera, but
as long as
it was smooth.
Smooth as fast. That's the old racing saying, right?
It's pretty gnarly out there. You can easily break some stuff.
It is.
Like you did last year.
Yeah, we broke a bolt, which ended up breaking a lot more stuff.
So off the line right now is Diesel Krentz, number 4500, out of Stanley, North Carolina, with Team Stacked. He's in a Team Stacked built Jeep. He's got the stock engine and transmission in it. He's running an Atlas, Curry, Nitto, Rock Crawler, Dirty Life wheels, Adams drive shaft, Rigid, Stacked Off-Road, Adventure X. His first Ultra 4 race was just a year ago here at AOP. He used to race Roundy Round for a long time. Raced dirt bikes, but then had a bad crash, and his first race in over 15 years was just a year ago, so great to see him back. Do we have a time for Bob Humanchuk?
Not quite yet, but we will here shortly.
So what's your strategy tomorrow on race day there, John? Because you got third place, if I remember right, last year, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be just keep the car together and set a nice pace. Hopefully it doesn't rain. That's going to change everything, but
we had a sprinkle earlier, but it didn't really.
It just made the cars dirty. That's it.
Just
dirtier.
enough to put a little layer on top.
But yeah, you got to keep moving, and I think we're going to have a hard time getting 4 laps in.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, so tomorrow's a 6-mile loop, so 4 laps. What's that? 24 miles. That's some pretty rough terrain out there.
Yeah,
because you got an hour and a half.
I think we're probably going to run a 45-minute lap. So I don't know that we're going to get all 4 in.
But the race is on adjusted time, all that jazz. So it'll all shake out in the end. But it's gonna be fun regardless.
Yeah, I think if you keep your car together and get to the finish line, you're going to be on the podium.
What was it that Chip posted last night? Whoever has the best tires wins.
The most tires.
The most tires. That's what it was.
Yeah, tomorrow you'll have 4 stock bypasses, if I remember right.
Yep.
There's 12 either or, so it's gonna be a great race.
Yeah, it's wide open in a few spots. He's got 5, 6, 7 lines in certain places, so hopefully we won't get bottleneck like we did last year and everybody just be able to go.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one for sure. But, okay, so Bob Humanchuk, he came through with a 2:31.877. That put him in the number 2 position.
And up next is going to be Cody and Anthony St. Clair. All right, John, always a pleasure. Best of luck. And like I said, you're on the pole. Good job, buddy.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Good luck. Diesel Krentz was just on the screen there. He went past the bypass, and Cody is getting that green flag.
So Cody St. Clair with his dad, Anthony, riding shotgun out of Ponder, Texas, with number 4561 with SCR Motorsports. They are in a Tribe 16 built chassis. Thompson LS 408 Stroker, Turbo 400, Atlas, Custom Splice, Raceline, Cooper Tires, Fox, and Factor 55. He started racing in the stock class in Dirt Riot. His first King of the Hammers was 2015. He got third in Nationals at 2019, and this year he got third at the MAO 918 race.
You missed out on that one, Miles. It was nice and cold. Next off the line is going to be the 45-19 of Rick Lavezzo. But right now we have Troy Digby in that number 1 position with a 2:01.055. The number 2 position, Bob Humachuk at the 2:31.877. And third position is Diesel Krentz with a 2:38.165.
So 37 seconds splitting up the 4,500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class for now. So we'll see how Cody St. Clair and his dad Anthony does out on this .43 mile qualifying loop. This is our second race in the Eastern Series. Our third and final race in the Ultra 4 Eastern Series is at the Big House in Crandon, Wisconsin over Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, so be sure to tune in for that. That's always a fan favorite.
And off the line, there is Mr. Rick Lavezzo.
With James Mahoney riding shotgun, number 4549 out of Fort Worth, Texas, with a R-Squared Racing. He's in a Get Bent Fab Ford Bronco, LS7 Gearworks, Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, King, Spider Tracks, Yokohama Tires, Raceline Wheels, PRP, Warn, and AMSOIL. And there is some Ford Performance contingency money on the line. If you're running a Ford Performance horsepower, there's $1,000, and if you're running a Ford grill or hood, there's $1,000. So up to $2,000 if you win your class.
That's awesome to have backing like that for sure. On course, you can see Rick Lavezzo out there on the qualifying course.
Yeah, James Mahoney's riding shotgun. He races in the 4,400 class off and on, so it was great to see him. He's kind of stepped away a little bit, but he'll be back in here with us. But it's fun to see him hop in the shotgun seat with Rick Lavezzo.
And Rick has a new Bronco as well.
Yeah, one of the new Broncos. We were coming in this morning. Pam and I were driving in, and we saw a Bronco Cruiser. We're like, man, I want one. You want one? Those things are so cool. And then we pull up to the Mid-America Ultra 4 tent, and Rick hops out, and I'm like, yep, you got all the cool stuff, buddy.
He said that it's pretty cool. His wife drives it around. His daughter drives it around. And it's he goes, I probably only put 50 miles on it myself. But, no, it's definitely an awesome, nice red Bronco out there.
Rick Lavezzo making the Yukon
you can see a
drop.
little hop when he did that drop.
Pretty easy.
He made it pretty easy, but you still saw that bounce.
So talking about Ford Performance contingency money, Sean Rance could get that $2,000 because he's running Ford Performance engine and that Ford Bronco hood. So Sean Rance Sr., number 4531, out of Aztec, New Mexico with Mud Nut Racing. He's in a 1976 Ford Bronco themed machine with a 455 small block Ford. ATI Turbo 400, Trailworthy Fab T-Case, Rough Stuff, Mega High Nines, RCV, King, Milestar PRP, and Raceline. He's proud to be a Ford-powered machine. His current first-gen body he built with his son in a two-car garage. His first race was King of the Hammers 2012 and was the Western Series back in 2021 last year.
And as you were going through those, we had Dwayne Garrison pull up to the line. He'll be going off next. We're just waiting for some scoring updates here, and we'll update you on all of the positions right now where everybody is qualifying.
So there's Sean Rance coming in. He'll be coming in shortly as Ricky Bobby. Dwayne Garrettson, number 26, out of Alma, Arkansas, with Come Get You Some Off-Road. He's in a Jimmy's 4x4 Bronco. Limitless Performance LS 6-liter, Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Brannick, Yukon, Yokohama, Raceline Wheels, Steinjager, Radflow, and Warn. His first King of the Hammers was 2016. He started racing back in 07 with We-Rock, winning multiple championships. He was first place this year at MAO and at Rush. And he was third place in this race last year. So Dwayne Garrettson, definitely a fan favorite, and expect to see very good things from him. Dwayne Garrison out there on that .43 mile qualifying lap. Getting things all set up for tomorrow's big race for the four-wheel parts Teardown in Tennessee at AOP. This race will be on adjusted time. Tomorrow it'll be a 6-mile loop. This class will be doing 5 laps. There are 4 stock bypasses, 12 either-ors, and 1 joker line for the 4,400 class only. And taking off with a mission is Mr. Trevor Foltz out of Union, Missouri with Hot Rock Express. With a Wolf Creek Customs chassis, Hellcat 6.2, Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, King, Pitbull Tires, Raceline, PRP, and Warren. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2017.
Looks like we're getting ready to move into the 4,800 class here very shortly.
We just moved into it. I missed it.
Oh, we already missed it.
Trevor Foltz was the first one in the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class.
Yes, and I just walked back, so I was not over here. I'm sorry.
So the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, you have to have a front-mounted engine but unlimited horsepower. Vehicle must contain 2 seats side by side, single shock per corner, maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire, solid axles only. There are a lot of new cars that are being built for this, but this is a great place for a 4,400 car to kind of retire at. You just have to have a single shock per corner and a 37-inch DOT tire. So Trevor Foltz running strong all the way to the finish line.
As they should be. On the line is 48.59. That will be Evan Sherman, and he's from South Carolina. Everybody's from North Carolina, but we have now a South Carolina.
So Evan Sherman with his buddy Chris riding shotgun in the 48.59 out of Inman, South Carolina with Sherman Racing. He's in a Jimmy's chassis with an LS 6-liter, Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, PRP, Raceline, Fox, Toyo, Barnes 4-wheel drive, East Coast Gear, and Carlton Customs. His first Ultra 4 race was Tennessee 2020, and he wants to give a big shout out to Donnie Schroeder for helping out.
Next off the line, there's a pretty cool story about this car, but it's the 302 of Mr. Jody Ford that'll be taking the green flag.
Racing in memory of Roscoe. He's racing in Roscoe's old race car. He passed away years ago, near and dear to the Team Indiana. So Jody Ford and Brandon Haynes are taking that car out for the first race in a long time. It's really cool to see as we're watching Evan Sherman out on course.
Yeah, he was telling me, I was actually asking him last night if he has, if it was an original wrap on the car, and he said that the hood is still an original wrap, but the side panels have been redone.
And speaking of the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, riding shotgun is Mr. Brannick Haynes. That is Stan Haynes' son. So I know Stan wasn't able to make it. It's his mom's birthday this weekend. So happy birthday to Stan's mom this weekend. Hate Stan can't be here. He comes to almost every Ultra 4 race, but they are Brannick Motorsports themselves. So it looks like we'll be taking off here.
As soon as Jody takes off, we will introduce our next guest we have up here.
So off the line right now is Jody Ford with Brandon Haynes riding shotgun, number 302 out of Markle, Indiana with Team Indiana with Brannick chassis number 1. This is Roscoe's old car with a Ford 302 stroke to 347, C6 trans, NP205, Fox ITBs. Brannick, PRP, KMC, and Nitto. Jody's first King of the Hammers was 2018, and in the Nitto Lounge with us is James Cantrell. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, guys. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing good.
We're doing great.
The sun disappeared for a little while, so I'm doing great.
It feels so much better now than it did this morning.
Yes, it does. Here,
Oh, there we go.
Had a little technical difficulties, but we got him back going.
He drives race cars. He doesn't talk on the mic.
And I'm glad to see you out here racing. I know you had that car up for sale. I wasn't sure if you were coming. I know you have a little secret stash. I'll let you debut that later. But I'm glad to see you out here racing. And when'd you do your prep on this car? How long ago? Be honest.
Last night.
I knew it.
Of course.
Well, I fully prepped the car before Rush, and having that hub brake at Rush a lap in, the car didn't really get any miles put on it, so we just did a mild re-prep on it and brought it down here.
Well, what broke? Did you fix what broke?
Broke a hub. Just a weird fluke.
There's sometimes freak accidents that happen.
That's racing, yeah. You were going to start mid-pack. You had a pretty good qualifying run. What's your game plan for tomorrow?
Get my finish points. This is my double race for King of Hammers.
So let's explain that. So this year with the new merge, there were a few people that did not race King of the Hammers. I'm going to get right back to that, so give me just a second. That was Ryan Taylor, number 53, out of North Liberty, Indiana, with Team Indiana, with a Trent Fab chassis, LS 6-liter 4L80E, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Brannick, Fox, Yokohama, Raceline, and PRP. Ryan Taylor raced, his first race was last year in Moab. Great character. So the double points for King of the Hammers. With the merge, there were some people that didn't race King of the Hammers because they were going to race the other series. So you had to pick a race and do a double points before the season really even started, and you chose this race, huh? So you need to finish. I
need to finish no matter what. And I'm just going to go out and run a conservative pace and try to get some good finish points.
So what's conservative, like 70%?
On this course, probably 60.
60, okay. So you actually are going to take it easy.
It's rough. I've been coming here for several years, and this is the hardest I've ever seen it.
Did you pre-run it quite a bit?
I pre-ran, and it's rough. I mean, all the mud holes are deep, all the rock trails are beat in. It's going to be a real attrition race. This is a true Ultra 4 race.
Yeah, we both have taken a lap out on the race course helping JT Mark, and it's definitely rough out there. It's rougher than last year's race.
The trees are tight, the rocks are big, the mud holes, even though it's dry, they're still there. And this is going to be hard on tires. I think it's going to be hard on you. I mean, it's going to be hot out there. You're going to be in full race suit. It's going to be a doozy.
I think you're right. I think tires are going to be the big one if you can keep the tires on the car, because there's a lot of gotchas. I mean, you never get a rest on this course. You are always got to be watching out for tires.
We jokingly say that the trees jump out at you and the rocks.
They do. They move. They're fast, especially out here. I've hit a few of them.
They're like Houdini. They just all of a sudden appear.
Yeah.
Off the line is at 866 right there.
That is
Mr. Sean Reisky.
Out of Mishawaka, Indiana. Just saw his dad walk by. With Auto Pros Off-Road, new chassis built in-house with an LS3 Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Gearworks, PRP, JKS sponsored machine, Brannick, Fox, Dirty Life Race Wheels, Mickey Thompson Tires, and Warren. His first Ultra 4 race was Oklahoma 2017. So it looks like we got a time for Jody Ford.
Jody Ford's time was a 1:38.834. Ryan Taylor came through at a 1:52.726. So we're just still waiting on a few times to come through before we can announce everybody's times. But we have a couple in so far.
And up next should be Brian Trimp. So lots of action out there. James, always a pleasure to see you. What's your next race?
Visions.
Visions.
Awesome.
I'm hoping to debut a new car.
What are you
class.
racing? Don't tell me.
4600.
All right.
Oh, awesome.
Or stock Sportsman. It depends if I can get it converted to 4600, but we'll be there with a
You'll be there racing. That's what
either
you
way.
do.
Well, that's
and
super cool.
I'll be there in the Razor if I still got it.
So with this being double points, if you do well, will you not sell the Razor trying to go for points? Will you get a new UTV? What's the plan?
If this goes real well, I'll probably keep the Razor and then try to sell it at the end of the season. If this goes bad, I'll push it a little harder and prepare for next year.
Because it would definitely be tough to prep two cars the night before a race.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
So off the line now is Mr.
I just follow along with Miles. He always gives you a hard time.
So does everybody, right, buddy?
But it's always last minute. I mean, if you're a race car driver.
Oh, Sean Reisky just came through with a 1:42.007.
So off the line just now is Mr. Brian Trimp out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan with Shallow Pockets Racing. He's in a Jeep Armory chassis, GBM LS 408, Turbo 400, Atlas, 14 bolts front and rear, Falcon, Warn, Optima, King, Vision, PRP, Yukon, Ironman Off-Road. His first Ultra 4 race was AOP 2020, and he got first place just a few months ago at Rush, Kentucky.
He had a rough pre-run. He had a good little rollover during
I heard
pre-running.
somebody did. That was him.
That was him.
Did you get to see it out there on course?
No, I didn't get to see it.
Okay.
I just saw the aftermath.
And it's a little tore up, huh?
He had a good little rollover, but the car seems to be fine. He's got it all back together and seems to be doing pretty good.
Well, that's always a part of the issues for sure.
This seems like there was a few rollovers out on race course with pre-running.
There's a lot of places that have gotten really washed out. You got to really be on your A game this whole race. It's going to be tough.
Well, and like people were saying earlier too, tire placement's going to be key for sure.
Yeah, the holes are deep. The years past, I mean, you could make a mistake and kind of recover from it. You make a mistake this year, and you're going to be recovering the car.
And let's talk about this year's race, a little bit of strategy. As long as everything goes smooth, I assume you're not going to the HCR hot pits, correct?
No, I don't plan on making it. It's
So
roughly
anybody
30 miles.
So anybody that goes in the pits is because they have an issue.
They have an issue.
Off the line, the 717 of Ryan Webb.
And his son Connor is riding shotgun. Always loved the father-son duo. Out of Bossier City, Louisiana, with Kryptonite Customs Racing. He's in a Jimmy's Chassis LS6, 680 horsepower, Turbo 400, SCS TK, Spider Tracks, Gearworks, Fox, USD Stickies, PRP, PSC, and Raceline. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2017. And sorry, it's Blaine is his son riding shotgun. Got that mixed up in my head.
You have a lot of information. I always say that Miles, you probably would agree with me on this, James. Miles is like the encyclopedia of Ultra 4.
He does. He does his homework and knows everything pretty much about every driver out here.
I try. I do my best. And when I do mess up, send me a message. Come give me a holler. I'll write it down and fix my notes for the next time. And like I said, do my homework and do the best. But it's all in good fun.
Well, and what's cool, too, is about doing these drivers' appreciation dinner at night on Friday night before the race. That's another area, like you're saying. Everybody gets to mingle, and you can chit-chat some more there. And then it's kind of easier because then you're not going pit to pit. But that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to sit around and chat with everybody.
Yeah, it's been so awesome what Mid-America's done with Ultra 4 since they've taken it over. The driver appreciation dinner, everybody gets to come relax, hang out. We don't all worry about where we're eating on Friday nights.
Right.
And it's super awesome. They've done a great job so
far.
Yeah,
we got to give Jason and Gayla Robinette a huge shout-out for that because, it's been really fun with everything going on. And then we'll be racing with King of the Hammers in February once again. Get everything going.
All right, off the line, the 1905 of Sean Hollick.
With Mark Shea riding shotgun out of Hampton, Maryland, with Sean Hollick Racing in a Liberty Mountain Fab chassis, LSX 454, Turbo 400, Atlas, Nitto, King, RCV, Raceline, the Tree Care Company, Jetco Mini Cranes. His first King of the Hammers was 2017 in a UTV. And his first King of the Hammers was this year, so in a 4800 car. So it's great to see him stepping up.
Yeah, Sean was always a fast side-by-side driver. He always had good success. It's cool to see him in a 4800
You had
car.
a few good battles with him, if I remember right. So it's great to see him move up. I mean, you started in the 4500 class, I believe, moved up to 44, now back to 49, then go to 46. You're just all over the place, right?
I figure I'll try them all.
What's your favorite one to race?
I really like the stock class. Of course, 4400 is my favorite class by far. There's nothing like
budget,
a 44.
Budget gets a little tough.
Budget gets real tough in 4400, especially with the progression of cars the last couple of years. It's really gotten crazy with the stuff people are coming up with and the technology in these cars now.
I can see that for sure. I mean, just touring race shops and stuff, it's pretty amazing to see what people have out there.
So there's Sean Hollick coming into screen. He'll be hitting the Yukon drop as we speak. This is a fun little drop. How was it in the UTV?
It was tough.
Yeah,
it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger, and the bottom's got a little dip to it, so you got to be real careful coming off of it that you don't tap the brakes.
And the 417 of Justin Barth off the line. He's doing double duty this weekend.
Yeah, he already qualified in the UTV class. Justin Barth, number 417 out of Springfield, Missouri, with Barth Racing. He's in a Jimmy's 4x4 48P chassis with an LS3 427, Turbo 400, Atlas, King, Walker Evans, PRP, PCI, PSC, Nitto, and Warren. His first Ultra 4 race was King of the Hammers 2014, and he got second place at the MAO 918 race earlier this year. So if you want to keep up with all the timing, go to live.ultra4racing.com for our timing. We'll be for qualifying today and racing all day tomorrow. So bring a couple, watch it, put it up on the TV, get your computer out, and tune in all day long. Ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the MAO app, go to the MAO and Ultra4 Facebook and YouTubes. Tune in and hit the share button, start a watch party. It's going to be a great, great weekend of racing. And don't forget, at Mid-America Outdoors tonight, there's a rodeo at 7 p.m., and then tomorrow they'll be doing their side-by-side racing while we're doing this. So there's plenty of racing to watch this weekend.
A lot of racing going on this weekend for sure.
I'm really excited for this next driver, Casey Ryan. Casey actually started, me and him started racing Ultra4 together back in our Cherokee. Me and Casey raced together for probably 5 or 6 years in 4,500 and 4,400. He's a heck of a driver. I expect to see him throw down a real fast time.
Yeah, he's extremely fast, and he's a fill-in driver for George Schooley. And Cameron Schooley, George's daughter, is riding shotgun with him, and they are out of Westminster, Maryland, with Legacy Off-Road and a Miller Pro chassis with an LS 437, Turbo 400, Atlas, Nitto, Spider Tracks, Method, and Fox. But yeah, George is definitely here, but has a little bit of medical issues. The doctor says hopefully in about 3 months they'll give him the clear, but it sounds like he's going to give the car to Cameron.
Yep.
So it'll be cool to see.
Casey
Ryan was his fill-in driver last year.
And finished second.
Yeah, and got second place. So it's going to be interesting. Last year, the podium for the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class was Chris May, George Schooley, and Casey Gilbert. But Casey Gilbert stepped up. Chris May sold his car, so Casey Ryan has a good shot in the 4,800 class. And that is so Casey Ryan will be the last competitor in the 4,800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, and then we're going to switch it over to the 4,400 Unlimited class. Well, James, always a pleasure having you here in the Nitto booth, but I'll give you a little break, but always good to see you, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Good luck. All right, came through with a 124.011.
So it sounds like he got the pole position for George Schooley, Mr. Casey Ryan.
So it looks like it will be Casey Ryan in that number 1 position, Justin Barth in 2, Jody Ford 3rd, 4th, Sean Hollick, 5th, Sean Reisky, 6th, Brian Trimp, 7, Ryan Webb, 8, Ryan Taylor, in the 9th position, Evan Sherman. And the 456 is on the line, will be the first off the line for the 4,400 class of Chad Hunt. And he is getting ready to take that green flag here in 1 second. There we go, off the line, Chad Hunt.
These are the biggest and baddest names in our sport. Chad Hunt with Rick riding shotgun, number 456, out of Plymouth, Indiana, with Hunt's Motorsports. He's in a brand new Miller Pro chassis, supercharged Dart LS 427, 4L80E transmission, SCS TK, Spider Tracks, Fox, Nitto, Raceline, and PRP. His first Ultra4 race was Badlands back in 2013, and he likes to hang out with Team Indiana. Now I stopped by there last night to check it out, and they were adjusting their power steering pulley. They kept spinning the serpentine belt, so they had to kind of fudge it out a little bit, and it looks like it's screaming hard. So he's putting that Miller Pro chassis to work.
But before you look up, Miles, did you hear the motor just now?
Which one?
That just went off. Not off, almost. Number 4, Mr. Chip McLaughlin, is up next on the 4,400 class for his qualifying run. I would say that the McLaughlin, the Rufus Racing, and then we have Casey Gilbert, their motors are definitely distinctive.
And last year here at this race, on top of the box was Josh Blyler, Cade Rod, and Eric Miller, and all 3 of those guys are here racing. So tomorrow's race is going to be absolutely amazing as Chad Hunt comes down the Yukon drop. And off the line is Mr. Chip McLaughlin out of Corinth, Texas, with Rufus Racing. He's in a Tribe 16 2C IFS machine, Thompson Motorsports 440 LS7, 800 horsepower, Turbo 400 Atlas, Spider Tracks, Vision, Maxxis, Fox, Corbo Seats, sponsored by Eco Earthworks, Baja Designs, and Nightsticks. He started out as Doug Jackson's co-driver, but switched to the driver's seat in 2019 and has been doing great ever since.
And Chad Hunt just came through with a time of 1:36.934. So we'll see what the fastest time will be, if that will stand or not.
So Jamie McCoy with that 108 is going to be super hard to beat. And like I said earlier, I really, really think that 108 is going to stick. This is such a tight and technical course that it's going to be interesting.
It definitely will be. And with that shorter wheelbase, Miles, I think that you're right, that nobody will be able to beat that Jamie McCoy time. But next off the line, we will have Mr. Zandy Willems here momentarily.
And hopping into the Nitto Lounge, we have Mr. Mark Shea just hopped out of the car with Sean Hollick. How was it out there, buddy?
It's brutal.
It's brutal, and that's only half a mile.
That's
Not
it.
even a half a mile.
Well, we're just happy Sean got a full qualifying lap in.
Yeah. Last what was it? Kentucky. You guys had some pretty good issues.
Yep.
Ooh.
And Chip came
119, 589. Wow.
So fastest time in the 4,400 class is Mr. Chip McLaughlin, that 119. And we're talking about the course tomorrow. It's 6 miles out there. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be all of it.
Oh, absolutely. And it's we start first in the morning, so hopefully it won't be too hot. But it's definitely hot down here too, and that's with the helmets and fire suits and stuff. That's going to be a lot on top of everything else. But
yeah, I think heat's going to be a big issue. I think tires are going to be an issue, but I think the dust is going to be an issue.
Yes. Yep. In years past, this has been wet and muddy, but.
So off the line now is Mr. Zandy Willems with Diamond Riding Shotgun out of Allen, Texas with Rufus Racing. He's in a Tribe 16 two-seat solid axle machine called Nightmare. He's got a Thompson Motorsports LS 440 LS7 with 800 horsepower. Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Vision, Maxxis, RCV, Fox, Corbo, sponsored by EcoWorks, Baja Designs, and Nightsticks. He is the head honcho of Rufus Racing. His first Ultra 4 race was in Davis, Oklahoma with Doug Jackson riding shotgun. See Angie over there rooting on her Zandy.
Her Zandy. Up next off the line is going to be the number 40 of Liam Morris. But out there, the course, definitely rough.
Yes.
Is there any part of it that you think is your favorite part yet?
Well, there's a lot of downhill stuff.
Okay.
And that's, for me, if I was driving, would be a disadvantage. But with Sean behind the wheel, it's definitely an advantage. He just attacks the downhill stuff.
Well, there you go.
Most guys, myself included, might hesitate a little bit on that, but that's the least of his worries. He's like, you're just going down a it's a crash downhill. He's all in on that stuff. So I know that's always an advantage. Usually.
And off the line now is Liam Morris, number 40, out of Pacific, Missouri, with Hot Rock Express and a Jimmy's chassis with an LSX 454, Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Mickey Thompson tires, Raceline wheels, Radflow, top-tier suspension, Show Me Speed, vinyl images, Schaefer oils, off-road lifestyle, and Warren.
All right, Miles.
What's up?
117.324. He just beat Chip by 2 seconds.
That's going to be a party tonight. So Chip
Zandy's
got beat by Zandy. That's awesome.
Number 1 position right now. That's pretty darn cool.
Sitting in the hot seat, Mr. Rufus Racing, Zandy Willems. And I can't wait to give Chip some hard times over that. He'll be happy about it, but he's going to catch some grief for sure.
Oh, my goodness. That's a great run. But we were worried there for a minute about their times, but they're definitely getting down there into the times that you were saying earlier that you thought would be the fastest. Next off the line is going to be the 178 of Aaron Smith, waiting here patiently. How was it sitting on the start line waiting for your start?
Well, for qualifying, I actually let him go solo.
Okay.
I'll be in the car co-driving all day tomorrow, but sometimes we always work. What's most.
So off the line right now is Mr. Aaron Smith with Troy Digby riding shotgun, so he's playing double duty out of Plano, Texas with Smith Brothers. With Smith Off-Road. He's in a bomber chassis that he built himself from Randy Slauson. He's got a CBM Stroke LS3 with 425, maximum Turbo 400 Atlas, BFG, Raceline, and King. His first Ultra 4 race was earlier this year at the 918 at Mid-America Outdoors. He bought the bomber as a kit and built it in-house. It's really cool to see him come around, and it's cool to see Troy Digby hopping in with him.
So you were saying, like, go ahead and finish.
Yeah, we look at what's most advantageous for us. If it's better for me to be in the car or better for me to be outside of the car.
Yeah, strategy. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, we definitely play that to whatever advantage we can have.
And that's what we were talking. We actually, Miles and I usually talk about that. Like, do you use it as an advantage not having a co-driver during pre-running, or not pre-running but qualifying, or do you run it because your shocks, your suspension, everything's set up for a co-driver
and on race day as well.
And on race day as well, exactly.
Yeah, and with a course like this, with a bigger car, that's not as big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
If with a smaller car, like we were racing Razors up until this year, and that was definitely a big advantage when you're talking about the weight difference on those cars. But
absolutely.
The big cars, it's not such a big deal.
And just off the line was a brand new driver all the way from Canada, Mr. Derek Starr, and he has his son riding shotgun with him.
Yeah, his son Connor.
That's awesome.
Out of Georgetown, Ontario, Team Hollywood with a front yard fab solid axle chassis, LS3, 6L80, Atlas, Dana 80 Rockwells, Maxxis, and Raceline and ADS. And this is his first Ultra 4 race. He bought this car 2 years ago. COVID hit. He can't come across the border. They were super locked down. That he was super stoked to be here. He showed up a week early to just do a bunch of trail wheeling. And we've had a couple great chats with Derek Starr and his son Connor and their whole team. And they're just super stoked to be here. And we're open arms with the MAO and Ultra 4 family. So it's great to see.
I wouldn't be surprised that the next race they show up to, they're going to have this really cool wrap, because the roof of his car is wrapped right now with this really cool iridescent wrapping material.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what it is, but they want to hopefully eventually wrap their whole car in it. It's super cool.
And that's a hike coming down. I know we're from Massachusetts, and it was a good 18-hour drive for us, and they've got to have probably another 4 or 5 hours on top of that.
Yeah, I think it said they took them 18 hours or something to get here. Is what I think they said. So that is the 124 going off the line of Roger King.
Out of Sparta, Tennessee, with Team Robbie Bobby with a Mike Colville chassis, LSX 427, 680 horsepower. Magnum 4L80E, 205 T-case, Griffin, Brannick, Curry, Gearworks, Overson, Raceline, Mickey Thompson, Switch Pros, ORW, and Fire Aid. His first Ultra 4 race was in the EMC with at King of the Hammers in 2012, and his co-dog Justin was not able to hear. His wife had some medical issues, but it sounds like she's okay, so our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. But I'm sure that you're tuned in, and thanks for all the info, and up to date, Justin, and best of luck to you.
Awesome, and I'm going to go through right now. In our number 1 position, we have the number 24 of Zandy Willems sitting there with a 117.324. In that second position, teammate Chip McLaughlin at a 119.589 in that number 4. In third position, the 178 of Aaron Smith with a 130.301. And then in the fourth position, Liam Morse at 133.053. And Derek Starr just came through in that number 5 position in the number 992 at a 136.365. And Chad Hunt is sitting right now in that sixth position at a 136.934. So lots of close times, but then again, Zandy and Chip went out there and kind of they took quite a lead on the time right now, I guess I should say.
But that fast time to beat is still 108 by Jamie McCoy.
Exactly, and off the line is going to be Mr. Tad Dowker in that number 906.
With Andy Eustace riding shotgun out of Kewadin, Michigan with North Shore Raceworks. He's in a Trent Fab solid axle machine, Bambi, LSX 454, Reed Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Fox, Mickey Thompson, Raceline, and Sparco. He bought this car from Dave Cole in 2019 and has been racing it ever since. It's great to see him out here racing. Tad Dowker out on course.
Yeah, we did a lot with the wrap on our car as well. It's got kind of the the big bass boat metallic orange, and then we followed it up with all of our logos for our sponsors with the chrome style graphic. Cool. So really trying to make it stand out.
Yeah, the orange really pops on screen for sure.
Yeah.
Until you get in the mud.
Then everyone's brown by third lap, yes.
And the chrome's not so shiny. I definitely like a chrome wrap, though. That would be super cool to do on a race car for sure. And on screen right there is Tad going down our little Yukon drop. So which side did you take? Did you take
straight, just like he just did, yes. Yep.
We were watching the UTVs earlier. They were taking on screen. It would have been the left side.
Right.
And off the line now is Daryl Kresbach out of Waterloo, Iowa. with Full Moon Motorsports and a Super 5 solid axle chassis, LS3, Maximum Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider-Tracks, BFG, Trailer Ready, and Fox. He's been racing Ultra 4 since 2015.
Well, we have a new number 1 position right now. Mr. Tad Dowker just came in, that number 1 position with a 1:16.789.
That is awesome.
So he
Tad
beat out
Dowker
Zandy.
stepping it up by
Zandy in
just
a chip.
under a second.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome right there. Tad's going to be super stoked about that one.
Yeah, thank you. The big cars out there, it's tight. There's a lot of sections on the main course that are, you're really running around some tight sections in there. The UTVs, this is one of those courses where they have some advantage with the short wheelbase. You can kind of sneak through stuff, but
so I was saying I think it is an advantage during the qualifying, but I wonder if on the big race when it's 6 miles long, there's a little more open spots. I don't know who's going to be faster lap time.
It's definitely a different mentality. Like we were out on with stuff with this car, and we're running a Dana 60 in the front and a 14 bolt in the rear. So they're for 37-inch tires. Those are just indestructible type axles for that kind of car. With a Razor with the rocks as big as they are, it's tough.
Well, Mark, always a pleasure to have you here in the booth. We're going to switch up, but always a pleasure.
Best
of luck tomorrow, and good to see you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next off the line, we are going to have the number 618 of Casey Gilbert.
He raced in the 4,800 class last year. It's great to see him stepping up this year. He's been racing 48 for a long time. Lots of success. Mr. Casey Gilbert, number 618 out of Benton, Michigan, with Gilbert Brothers Racing in a Miller Pro chassis. Texas Speed LS7, Tranny Tom Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider-Tracks, Nitto, Method, Fox, and Impact. He co-drove for Mike Colville back in 2013. Raced the Trek Series for quite a while. Built this Miller Pro chassis back in 16. He won King of the Hammers 2018 and 2019. Was the National Points Championship 2018-2021. He's had a lot of great things going for him.
You can see Mr. Casey Gilbert right there on screen. And we do have the number 46 of Mr. Rusty Blyler going to be taking the line here next up. Revving up that motor, ready to go. I'd be so impatient sitting right there.
So Casey Gilbert out on course right now, and Rusty Blyler, the happy pappy, taking off as we speak out of Klingerstown, Pennsylvania with Big B Motorsports. He's in a Miller Motorsports Pro chassis, Mapco LS7, Tranny Tom Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider-Tracks, Method, Nitto, Fox, and Sparco. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2018. He was a long-time Line Mountain racer and champion. And it sounds like, Pam, you got some good news for us.
I do. I'm sorry. I keep putting my hands up because every time I'm like, oh, my gosh, another new time. So Casey Gilbert in the 618 has just taken that number 1 spot with a 1:15.762.
So Casey Gilbert in that pole position. We still have a lot of heavy hitters. We have Eric Miller and Cade Rod and Josh Blyler. Rusty Blyler's out on course right now. Lots of heavy hitters out there, but Casey Gilbert with that 1:15 is looking good.
I mean, I thought Tad had a great time at 1:16, and now it's getting beat. So it's like, I wonder what the fastest time's going to be in the 4,400 class. We have the 2:70 of Brian McVeigh is up on the line.
Saw him pre-running earlier, and he was pinballing off a couple trees out there. Caught a tire, broke a wheel, broke some brake stuff on there, but he got it back in there, all smiles, having fun.
You couldn't even see his car. It was all brown, too, as well. All right, let's see what Mr. Rusty Blyler came through in the number 4 position at a 1:17.722. On screen there is Brian McVeigh.
You said Rusty Blyler with a 1:17?
1:17.722 in that number 4
him
position.
Him and Zandy will be taking off front to back. But still 1:15, Casey Gilbert. And fastest of the day is at 1:08 by Jamie McCoy.
Next up off the line is going to be Mr. Cade Rod.
So Brian McVeigh, number 270 out of St. Charles, Ohio, with 270 Motorsports and a wide open design solid axle chassis. Jeff Ginter race engine, Maximum Turbo 400 Atlas, Crane axles, Nitto, Factor 55, Trail Ready, Radflow, Liberty Mountain Fab with Phil Blacardi's tuned his stuff. So is Diddy's Big Block, Buckeye Curb Appeal, Dvorak Heating and Cooling, Wilson Auto Class. So Brian McVeigh out on course. So up next is going to be Mr. Cade Rod, a definitely heavy hitter. He got pole position last year. He finished in second position last year. This race is on adjusted time, and it came down to the wire.
And last year, Cade Rod made his debut in the 4400 class here and ended up on the podium.
Yeah, well, on the pole position, he got second place last
That's
year.
what I'm saying, on the podium, yeah, finishing position.
So Cade Rod, number 4407 out of Cortez, Colorado, with Jimmy's 4x4. And I see Randy Rod's here on site, too. He showed up just a little bit ago. His dad, great to see him here. He's running a Jimmy's 4x4 48P Mushu with a turnkey LS7, ATI Turbo 400, SCS TK, Spider Tracks, King, PRP seats, Nitto, Vision wheels, Holly Performance, and RCV. He was a heavy hitter in the Legends class, but has moved up. Great to see him running in the 4400 class, and I expect to see good things out of him. Do we have a time for Brian McVeigh?
Sorry, I was checking in on our Facebook feed here for a moment. We have lots of people checking in, chiming in, saying hi. Brian McVeigh's in that number 7 position at a 131.467.
So Cade Rod out on course, and now it's Josh Flyler, number 41, a former King of the Hammers champion.
And winner here last year, I believe.
Yep, he's backing up his win. Out of Klingerstown, Pennsylvania, with Big B Motorsports. He's in a Miller Motorsports Pro chassis, Mapco LS7, Tranny Tom Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Method, Nitto, Fox, and Sparco. His first year with Ultra 4 was back in 2016, and he's finished every King of the Hammers since. In Lion Mountain, he was the series champ in 2016, Ultra 4 National Championship in 2019, won King of the Hammers in 2020, first place here at AOP last year, second at King of the Hammers this year, first at Rush this year. Josh Blyler is a heavy hitter in this class for sure.
Definitely for sure. And we caught up with him as well the other day.
So Cade Rod with a 117 sitting in that 5th position right now.
Next up will be the 4046 of Chris Branton.
And it's actually Ryan Webb driving for him. He's got a fill-in driver for this race. Chris Branton was not able to make it, so Ryan Webb and his son Blaine is riding shotgun. So Chris Branton out of Bossier City, Louisiana, with Upside Down Racing and a Jimmy's 2-seat IFS chassis, LSX 427, Turbo 400, Hero TK, Spider Tracks, Raceline wheels, Fox, and USD stickies. Ryan and Chris have teamed up, and they are Team USD Sticky.
Okay. Where are they?
So Chris Branton is out there on course. Driver is Mr. Ryan Webb. We've got another guest. How we doing?
Doing pretty good.
And what's the name? I'm
Trevor Foltz.
Oh, Foltz, sorry. I know the names. I don't know the faces as well. I apologize. You showed up yesterday, I believe, a little late register, but you made it here.
Yes, sir.
You've been racing Ultra 4 for quite some time. It's always great to see you and your brother and your dad, the whole family. And that's Hot Rock Express, right?
Yes, sir.
So how was the course out there?
So it's very technical, actually. Like, it's very rocky. The qualifying courses, I didn't think it was going to be that difficult, but it was extreme.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Off the line right now is Cody Hardesty with Chris Wyant, riding shotgun. Number 408 out of Louisville, Kentucky, with Hardesty racing in a TMR custom chassis, straight axle machine, BTR LS 408, Turbo 400, SCS TKs, PRP seats, ADS shocks, Nitto, KMC wheels, Tom Woods, and Diddy's Big Block. So great to see Cody out there running strong. So how was your qualifying run? It looked like you were first off for the 4800 class, right?
Yes, sir. I was first off, but I think we're having issues with my my tracker because I don't have a time.
We've noticed a few of them. They're getting it sorted. I've
Yep.
heard some chatter through the PCI race radios. They'll get it squared away.
Yep.
Sorry we don't have it for you
It's-
right this moment. You know,
all
it's
good.
always something.
They got to keep something suspenseful.
Yeah, I know. All the time.
Oh, yeah. So we had Ryan Webb come through. He came through at a 128.574, puts him in that number 7 position.
And Cody Hardesty out on course. And up next is Mr. Philip McGilton with Dr. Amanda Ross riding shotgun. This is her first time ever in an off-road vehicle. McGilton's out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama with V&L Motorsports. He's in Derek West's old car. It's a 2020 Jimmy's 4x4 48P chassis. 2-seat straight axle, LS 427 supercharged by John Bouchard. ATI Turbo 400, Hero TK, Spider Tracks, Yukon, Radflow, Nitto, KMC, and Vivid Lumen Industries. So what's your game plan for tomorrow, Trevor?
Slow and steady's going to win the race out here.
Yes.
I keep saying that, absolutely.
Saving the tires.
Yep, that is. I didn't bring enough tires. I keep telling myself that.
You are
but
not the only one that has said that. Multiple drivers have said we have not brought enough tires with us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's definitely going to be a tire issue maybe tomorrow for sure.
Guaranteed on everything.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So you're going to have plenty of tires in the AMSOIL hot pits. You hope you don't pull in there, but you'll have them there just in case, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I got plenty of tires back at the trailer. Going to go in the pit in the morning, so
And
hopefully I don't pull in.
You'll be running a co-driver, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep, and a spare tire with all that.
Yep.
So hopefully you don't have to do it out there because that makes it tough.
All right, next off the line is the 218 of Mr. Paul Wolf.
And screaming off the line, can't hardly hear anything. Number 218 out of Brighton, Illinois with Wolf Racing. This is his first full season with Ultra 4, and he is here on a mission. He's in Dan Wyrick's old 2018 UFO single-seat Joe Thompson machine, IFS, LSX 434, ATO 4L80E, SCST case, Raceline wheels, Spider Tracks, Rugged, Nitto, Holly, RCV, and Brannick. His first Ultra 4 race was in Moab. He got first place. His second race was the Stampede, got second place. He wiped out in Rush. We'll see how he does this weekend. I suspect to see good things from Paul Wolf.
He wiped out in Rush, but it was between him and Josh Blyer
Yep,
the
they were
whole
up
entire
front, yep.
race.
And then
But he won the Can-Am UTV race, though.
Yep. Paul Wolf, I'm sure you've been following too. That guy, it's
He's
pretty,
on a mission.
I've heard the name for quite a while, but he's new to our sport, and he is here on a mission.
I used to follow the rock bouncing all the time and always would hear his name in the UTVs and the big cars. It was just awesome to watch him run. He was always amazing in the cars and everything. It's just
it's pretty wild.
All right, next off the line we have the 21 of Mr. Eric Miller.
Two-time King of the Hammers winner, Eric Miller out of Cumberland, Maryland with Miller Motorsports. He's in a Miller Pro chassis with a Jeff Ginter LS7 Turbo 400, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Nitto, Method Race Wheels, Fox, Impact. He won King of the Hammers 2012 and 2016. He was the national points champion in 2018, and it's great to see him here racing with us. And it sounds like, Pam, you got something exciting.
Yeah, I know.
for
You
us.
see my hands go up in the air every time. So Mr. Paul Wolf just came through with a 113.863. So he has about a 2-second lead over Casey Gilbert on time right now for that number 1 starting position.
And last year it was all solid axles on the pulse or on the podium, so we'll see if he can mix it up. Paul Wolf, it's pretty impressive what he can do.
But talking about Paul Wolf, did you watch at Mid-America last race where he took the 4400 on the hill climbs?
yes, I did.
And did well.
It was insane out there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, 113. So Miles very, very close, but not a Jamie McCoy time.
Well, Trevor, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming and visiting
thank
us
you.
here, and send one of your other buddies over if you want.
All right.
So that was Frank Vonderheide out of Scranton, Arkansas with STT Racing and a Jimmy's 4x4 podium chassis. Rogers Race Engine 383 stroker, Turbo 400, Hero T-Case, Method Race Wheels, Fox, Maxxis, and Corbo. In 2021, he was the Eastern Series champ. Started rock crawling back in 04. Has raced R-Rock, We Rock, Dirt Ride, and Ultra 4. His co-driver is normally Drew.
All right, we have another new number 1 position right now. Mr. Eric Miller came through at a 111.781.
So I called that one
Yes,
early
you
on
did.
today. And we got another one. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Good. How you doing, boss?
Oh, great, great. And gosh dang, I just dropped the name.
AJ Stratman.
It's Stratman. Yep. UTV.
Yes,
so yeah,
sir.
you're going to run
5 laps.
Yeah, 5 laps tomorrow, and you're actually not taking off in the morning. You kind of excited how that switched up?
Yeah, it's nice. We've got a large car count. We're going to get a little bit of help for show our sponsors what we're doing, maybe get some more viewing. We're pretty excited for the move time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and and you're involved with the 170 race also, correct?
Yes, we new car for my niece tomorrow.
Cool.
We're super excited.
That's awesome. I have to say that I believe that this is the last car on race course for qualifying today. I do not have a time for Josh Blyler yet, so we don't know where he's at. So we don't know if he could be in that number 1 position or not.
There too.
But it's definitely going to be an exciting race tomorrow.
But Eric Miller with that 111 is pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive that you called it a 111, but that wasn't the fastest time. That was just.
I was 3 seconds off. I'll take that.
You were 3 seconds off.
But yeah,
we always make bets. We always make bets of who is going to be have the closest time to it. I'm never that close. Miles is usually
I get
spot
there every
on.
once in a while. You get lucky.
Seen it a time or two.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a great day of qualifying. Make sure to tune in tonight to the MAO app. We're going to have a rodeo at 7 p.m. at Mid-America Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma. We're just wrapping up qualifying for the 4-wheel parts teardown in Tennessee at the Adventure Off-Road Park. We've got AJ Stratman in there, myself, Miles, and Pam. We've had a great day of qualifying. So give me your thought of tomorrow's race. You're racing 5 laps, 6 miles. What's that, 30 miles? It's going to be brutal.
Very technical out there, lots of rock. You're going to have to really have your A game out there tomorrow. It's going to be a great race, so awesome course you guys have put together for us. We're all super excited.
Well, everybody's talking about tires and saying they didn't bring enough tires. Did you guys bring enough tires, do you feel?
Only need 4 of these Bravens I have.
I like your style.
That's right.
But you got a spare just in case, right?
Just in case, exactly.
Is that Buddy Carlton?
That's Buddy Carlton. So we do have a...
Okay. I did notice they did not take the green flag earlier.
So the rule on that is if you tell JT you have an issue when you're qualifying time and you make it within 5 minutes of the last guy qualifying, he'll give you your time because he doesn't want anybody to not get it. But as long as you're just open, he's like, yep, I got you noted if you come in. So Buddy is going to be taking off here very shortly.
And it does sound like we might have 3 more total going to take the green flag.
Okay, so a few more cars.
Well, that's awesome. We are not done yet. This is exciting.
So this is Buddy Carlton and his buddy Sam riding shotgun out of Greenville, South Carolina with Carlton Customs Motorsports. He's in a Jimmy's Ford Bronco chassis, LS, Carlton Customs transmission, Atlas, Spider Tracks, Toyo, Carolina Drive Shaft, Yukon, Warren, Alltech, KMC, and Fox. He started in We Rock, but has been raced off and on with Ultra 4 for quite some time. So great to see him out here racing, and he'll get a qualifying time. We'll see if he can shake things up or not. But Buddy Carlton is off the line. This is a .43-mile qualifying lap. Tomorrow's race will be a 6-mile lap. Most everybody do 5 laps. The stock class will do 4 laps, and the 4,400 class will do 7 laps with that Joker run that only the 4,400 is doing.
In the heat.
It's going to be something wild to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't believe we're going to have any cloud coverage tomorrow, so it's going to be nasty.
I think the heat will definitely play a factor tomorrow.
Definitely,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
So, AJ, we were sitting there in the drivers' meeting, and we saw the clouds moving in. Lightning starting to hit. It started to sprinkle, and it cooled off about 20 degrees. It's already starting to creep back up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, the humidity here just never stops.
No,
it never stops.
It was nice for about 15 minutes.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And the breeze that was actually going through as well, you could feel it. I'm like, there comes the rain, and then it was like sprinkled just enough to sprinkle your car. That was
just
it.
enough to tease you.
Yes.
Yeah, almost there.
I don't even think that was enough to tease you because it just left speckles on the trucks and the cars and everything in the parking lot. Looks like we have a UTV coming up
That's
next.
the 4934 of Scott Raymer. He's our only competitor in the open UTV class. That is Ross Pilgrim's old car that'll be taking off, but on screen is Buddy Carlton. So Buddy Carlton hitting the Yukon drop. What'd you think of this in that UTV?
Awesome.
That's steep, wasn't it?
Awesome, yeah. We fought back and forth about whether to go left or right, and actually pre-ran it twice, went back up and took a look at it and changed our mind. And,
okay, yeah.
And it worked out for us. So
I first got here Tuesday afternoon and landed, saying hi to everybody, and JT swings by. He's like, hey, I'm going to show you the qualifying course. He takes me there, and we hit this and this little UTV. I'm like, this is pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's steep.
All right,
Yeah.
so that put Buddy Carlton in the 7th position at a 145. Switched on over here quickly to the UTV classes.
Well, AJ, best of luck to you. I appreciate it. And if you want to send one
Nice
of your
talking with you
guys
guys.
over there, we'd like to help.
Will do.
Thank you. So up next will be Mr. Scott Raymer in Ross Pilgrim's old car, number 4934 out of Springdale, Arkansas, with Fuelworks Racing. He's in the open class in the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. He's in a Pilgrim-built chassis, Polaris 1000 turbo drivetrain. He's running portals on this machine. Nitto tires, Fox shocks, Raceline wheels, Super ATV, and Fuelworks. His first Ultra 4 race was in Oklahoma, 2019.
How is that popsicle you're eating, Miles? You guys can't see us on camera, but he had a popsicle delivered to him.
It feels great.
Actually, we had this discussion this morning. A popsicle has a stick. That is what? Flavored ice?
An icy, oh.
Icy? Hotter pop?
You know what it is? It's delicious.
Refreshing.
So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the EMC classes, the 4600 Spider Track stock class, the Sportsman stock class, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified, and the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class will all take off at 8 a.m. So we'll technically have 4 races going on all at the same time. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Be sure to tune in, ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the MAO app. Go to the MAO and Ultra 4 Facebook. Hit that share button. Start a watch party. Hashtag it up.
Yeah, we're good.
Again, we need to give a huge shout-out to Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive, Holly, Lasernut, Grip and Race Radar, UT Racing Wheels, Nitto, King Shocks, and King of the Hammers. So please support who supports the sport. Without all these amazing partners, we would not be racing here today for the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee at the AOP Off-Road Park.
That's an awesome view. They were just showing of them coming into the woods.
And that shows you the light difference when
Yes.
you're coming from the woods in. It's that glare is pretty wild.
The canopy out there with the trees everywhere. I mean, out marking course the other day, I was thinking it was going to be a lot cooler, but JT put it as soon as you enter the woods, you feel the coolness, but once you're in there, it's just kind of like it gets stagnant and there's no breeze, and it was just hot. But it was a fun day out there for sure, and I'm glad we have this cloud coverage today.
Absolutely. And tomorrow, the weather was supposed to be hot, but now they've tuned it back a little bit. It looks like a high of about 90. It's going to be hot, but hopefully we can find some shade. There's a great pavilion here, so if you're anywhere in the area, we're just outside of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, right between Nashville, Knoxville, Birmingham, and Atlanta. So come on out. There's plenty of room. The MAO and Ultra 4 merch trailers here. There are lots of tank tops. We've got great things going, and we want to give a huge shout out to Jason and Gayla Robinette and the MAO and Ultra 4 crew. We got a lot of volunteers, a lot of media and safety and USAC here all on site. They're doing a great job for putting this on. So again, just thanks to everyone, and I want to thank each and every one of you back home for tuning in.
It's been a great day so far, great week out here. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow, but, you know, racing just comes to an end so quickly. It's not fun.
This qualifying run was amazing, and it looks like it's going to be Mr. Eric Miller on the pole for the 4400 class, but fastest of the day was Jamie McCoy with a 108, and I am super impressed with that as we see Scott Raymer coming down the Yukon drop. And look at the portals. Look at the ground clearance. It's pretty impressive to see that, and that's why he is in the open class. We have the stock the stock production, the pro mod, and the open class.
And it looks like he's going to be rounding out our day for finishing up our qualifying.
So it sounds like we got Chip McLaughlin sitting down with us, and guess what? Well, you already know this, but Zandy beat you by 2 seconds.
He did.
And he's in a solid axle. So what happened?
Yeah. Well,
hey, you're never a loss for words.
He's speechless right now.
No, we actually we broke a U-joint in the steering column.
Oh, did you really?
And so that halfway through, the car was a little wiggly and got in my head, and we were slow. Stayed together.
Okay, well, that makes a little more sense. But I like giving you a hard time.
Oh, he ain't listening to that. But yeah, these guys were fast.
I mean, a racer always has an excuse.
Oh, I'm glad I have an excuse.
I've said a racer always has an excuse.
Oh, I'm not racing. I'm just out here having a good time.
Chip, always a good time. You and the whole Rufus crew are absolutely amazing. I mean, you're exactly what Ultra 4 and Mid-America Outdoors is. I mean, it's just you're a family friendly, always here to have a good time. You guys show up to almost every single race, and we thoroughly appreciate you supporting us.
Oh, but this wouldn't. I mean, we have a blast doing this, and if it wasn't for y'all, I mean, honestly, I don't know if we'd be here because. Without y'all or without us, we can't do it.
Yeah, without. I mean, it takes a little bit of everything. It takes the Ultra 4 crew. It takes the racers. It takes the fans. It takes the marketing partners. I mean, it takes a lot to put all this together, and you are a part of it, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's we like this course. It's going to be muddy, and the crew did good. JT did all right marking the course.
I was out there with him. I think we did amazing.
Yeah, did good.
No, marking the course is great, but he made a hard course.
It's hard.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Some of these either ors, there's going to be guys stuck in the woods, and
but there's 12 of them.
Yeah, 12
either.
That's
some
awesome.
of them some of them are only UTV specific, and he didn't tell us that.
So how do you feel about the Joker line? Did you go down it in practice?
We did, and it's hard. It's legit. And when you're strapped in with your Hans and your helmet and you can't look to see where the tires are, it's a matter of inches of flipping over or going through it fast.
Yeah,
gotcha.
and so tomorrow you're in the 4,400 class. You're going to have 7 laps, and you must run the Joker line once and can only run the Joker line once. And your class is the only class doing it, and that's what we were just talking about. It's a rocky section. It's decent rocks. About, I'm going to say, probably 100 yards long, and at the very end it's like a 20-foot drop. It's not straight down, but it's steep, and like you're saying, left to right a little bit can really flip you over
if you
quick.
go on too far on the driver, you're going for a ride. But what you're forgetting is at the top, when you turn down there, if you walk it, you don't notice it.
So all I did was walk it.
So when you turn in there, you can slide the rear end and hook a tree, and you'll end up in the woods.
Oh, so
wow.
it gets
it's
tricky
not
at
just
top
the bottom;
too.
it's the top too.
Wow.
And then it's strategy, because we have to finish 5 laps to get finishing points.
Yep.
It's 7 laps, but when
but
you
have to have the Joker line?
you have to have
right?
the Joker line. You can go all 6, break on the 7th lap, and you're still not going to get finisher points.
Yeah, so I'm just getting a little chatter through my PCI race radio. It sounds like we have one more late register that's coming, so hopefully you can get qualified. We're waiting to get a little clarification on that, but it sounds like we'll have one more to go. But let's talk strategy a little bit right now. Obviously, if you have a smooth race, you don't have to pit, I assume.
If we pitting, you're not winning.
Yeah, correct. And then the Joker line. I don't want you to give away a secret if it's a secret, but do you run it early? Do you run it late? I don't know.
What's the strategy?
Well, I think we're starting in 9th place. So there's a couple of different strategies, and because I'm in 9th place, and it helps me more than it helps the guys in the front.
Yeah, because tomorrow's race is on adjusted time, so it's 30-second increments. You're racing yourself, so if you caught the next person, you've already passed them.
Right, and so do you go on out on the first lap because it's shorter and try
to make some passes?
Try to make some passes.
I like that.
Or, you get into lap traffic that way, and then the leaders are coming up right behind you. Or do you break your rig going down it?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, but you got to do it eventually. So
Brad and I have a plan, and we've been going back and forth on ideas, and it really depended on where we qualified. I wish I would have qualified better.
So it looks like it's going to be Cody Martin and his brother Cameron Martin.
I have to say he did chime in on the Facebook feed earlier and said he was trying to get here before the end of qualifying.
Well, it looks like he made it just barely, but he's here out of Gallatin, Tennessee with Team Martin Racing. He's in a 2020 Can-Am X3 RR, Nitro Racing Parts, Moto Race Tire, all things UTV, EBC Racing, Raceline, and G-Force. His first Ultra 4 race was Rush 2021 last year, racing King of the Hammers in 220 and he raced this year at King of the Hammers. It's been a good run for him. So Cody and Cameron Martin are out on course right now qualifying.
So unless we have somebody else trying to get here before the end of qualifying, it sounds like this will be our official last one.
This could be our last one.
So are we still waiting on Josh Blyler's time?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where that will be.
Eric Miller was a 1:11 if I heard right, and that's pretty fast. And then Jamie McCoy is a 1:08.
This whole qualifying, it came down to 2 spots. It was the rocks right when we disappear in the woods.
Yeah, that little creek section.
Well, I'm sorry, it's 3 sections. Then when you're going up the rocks about halfway through, that's where the joint broke in ours.
I watched you pre-running right there, and you made it look pretty smooth. There's a good line you can hit.
It was a lot smoother when the steering went the way I wanted it. And then the drop. Brad and I sat and watched the live feed earlier, watched the UTVs going, do we go left or right? The left line in the IFS cars, we would hit the bulkhead on that rock in lawn dart. That's why you would see
tough.
most of the IFS cars go to the right.
And I'm watching right now. I see Cameron Martin right here, so it is Cody Martin out there. Or Martin, sorry. Yeah, it's Cody out there. So I know Cameron was here with the car, and he was waiting on his brother to get here. It looks like Cody's out there because Cameron sold his car, but great to see him out here running, but I'm glad to see you got here.
I think I'm going to have nightmares about Clyde being in my head and he's not around, and I don't know when he's popping up on the
It's not even Clyde, it's his son-in-law.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the noises in your head is a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, I always have noises in my head,
Oh my
but, they're just – I can understand them this time.
Let's see where that time just came through.
But it looked like a smooth run.
I think it's impressive that the UTVs beat us.
I didn't call it, but I was wondering. I thought this was just a super tight and technical course that the UTV probably had a little advantage because of the tight trees and the rocks. And you were, 9 seconds off of Jamie McCoy? That's not bad.
No. They
All
were
right.
And it sounds like we have about 5 minutes right now. If no cars show up from now, they got 5 minutes to show up to qualify. Otherwise, you're taking a rear start tomorrow. So.
And Cody Martin just came through in the 26th position at a 150.450.
He's super fast, so it's a little off pace. Not sure exactly what happened, but
Can I see the top 10 on the UTVs? I'd like to see just how they ended up with us. Okay, so not too far off.
And remember, you can go to live.
I think Jamie, he had the short course somewhere. I'm not in that class, but if I was, I'd red card him. That's the the 4900 co-main class, right?
No.
No? Okay.
There's no such thing.
I know. I just messing with you.
Chip.
But that's impressive. We'll see what they do tomorrow. UTVs, I hope they can stay together.
Yeah, no, I think every car needs to stay together, but the UTVs are a lot lighter, which comes with lighter parts and everything. So it's going to be
there's a lot of rocks
job to keep it going.
I think steering racks. You're going to see a lot of issues with steering racks and
because
front
the
knuckles.
trees will jump out.
Your buddy's chiming in
Heck
here,
yeah.
Timmy.
Yeah, I got his shirt on.
Oh, well, Ryan, you're getting represented here. Ryan Rockhold is
Rockhold's
saying,
tuned in.
tell Chip we love him.
Oh, God.
Oh, now he has Clyde in his head.
Oh, Clyde in my head. He's asking me if I brought a driver so we could finish.
Did you?
We'll see tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah, Brad riding shotgun with you.
Yeah, he started yelling at me in the qualifying when we came out of those rocks. He yelled, go, go, go. And normally he's pretty quiet, and that's when I knew something was wrong. Just didn't know what it was. So it was part me, part the car.
Oh, my
that's all
goodness.
part of
And, but I'm going to have to prove Clyde wrong.
And again, if you're just tuning in, we're just wrapping up qualifying for the 4-Wheel Parts Teardown in Tennessee. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. And again, I forgot tonight at Mid-America Outdoors, there's a rodeo at 7 p.m. So be sure to tune in all weekend long. We have the Mid-America Outdoors Side-by-Side Championship. What's that, round 4 tomorrow?
It is round 4, yes.
So I hate to miss that, but
Me
we're here
too.
doing. Ultra 4 is my jam. So I wouldn't. I'm glad to be here, but I'm going to miss being there for sure. But tune into the MAO app. We'll be having separate links to go to the Side-by-Side Championship Series and Ultra 4. It's going to be a great weekend of racing.
It's going to be a crazy weekend. Speaking of the Side-by-Side Series, my son, thank goodness he's not racing this weekend because I'm here.
Yeah.
He has his backup driver over there this weekend, so it's pretty cool. But, yeah, no, it's tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. But if you're at home and you don't have the MAO app, make sure you download that because you can directly go to the live streaming from that app. It takes you to the YouTube page.
And you can get that on Apple and on the Google platform. So,
Yes.
So they can
on
go
both
back
sides.
and forth, like on our live feed? Are we going to go back and forth? Or what
So
are we
that's
doing?
what we were talking about. We're going to try to go. I don't know how it's going to work. They're telling me all this techie stuff, and then we're going to try to throw it back to them and come back to us if there's some
That'd be
breaks.
cool.
But regardless, get your iPad, get your computer, have both of them up. We're going to have fun with it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to have to be doing the same thing myself because there's a lot of people that I want to check into.
No, you're not, Pam. We got a
I
job
can
to do.
multitask there. I can multitask.
Well, if y'all can sit here and listen to Clyde in these earpieces and he thinks we can't, or it's Taylor, sorry, listen to them in your head and keep going.
Talking.
I can hear them making fun of me when they see my face change when
Well,
they start
that's
making
easy.
fun of me. But no, y'all do a great job up here. I'm looking forward to Visions here in a month.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. It's in less than a month now.
Yep.
And, it's going to be amazing. We're doing Ultra 4. We're doing America Pro Rock, the Mid-America Outdoor Side-by-Side Championship. We got a rodeo. There's a derby, downhill Barbie Jeep, pit bike races. Lazy River pools,
Rhythm section.
And I heard they moved the Megatron to the Lazy River where you can
There's
float.
one there. Yep.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they did it last race, I believe.
Yep, it's awesome.
I'm afraid
and then they
that's-
have Coconuts, the new place that opened up. It's a bar that's right outside of the Legends Steakhouse.
The steakhouse,
But by the pool, they're
Coconuts
opening up.
too, yeah.
They're opening up Coconuts too.
Well,
And then live music every night. There's 2 big acts at the big stage, and then there'll be
they
other
been
acts
named
at
yet?
the pool.
He named them last night. Buck
yes,
Cherry,
what
I
was
believe,
it?
was one of them, and I'm not sure what the other name was.
They're 2 really good bands, and he
Awesome.
said it last night. I'm dropping it.
Well, I'm afraid it's going to be
You
a
were over
Talladega
there.
Nights type deal when we get there because my picker will probably be in the Lazy River when we come in for something.
Well, I mean, you can watch from the Lazy River, the Jumbotron, and you can see part of the race course, so why not?
Right, exactly. No, we're looking forward to it. We've been to every one of them. And, if you've never been, that's the one. If you want to take your family to see what we can do, that's the best one to do.
I was able to take my wife and kids to the last race there. They're only there for a night, but they thoroughly enjoyed it. My kids were super bummed they couldn't. They didn't have the pool quite open yet, and they had to go home to do kid stuff.
Oh, you're talking about just the MAO race.
Yeah,
I was like,
yep.
there was snowing last time I was there with you, and I was like, I didn't want to.
No, I wasn't there. I was
there.
in Disney World.
That's right.
He was enjoying
I was getting
the
sunburned,
beach.
and you were getting
that's
snowed
you
on.
and
He was
Mohawk
getting
doing
frostbite.
it.
You were getting a sunburn. I was getting frostbite.
Well,
That was
I'm
cold.
glad it cooled off. Tomorrow's supposed to be 10 degrees cooler here, thankfully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So the rain went around, and
I
when we
thought
get
you
to
guys did a rain dance for a little bit because Gus was out here watering, and on your, we tagged you guys on social media because your rain dance you did a few years ago.
When the lightning and stuff started hitting, he gave me some dirty looks.
Oh, yeah,
I said, at least it's free.
Well, Chip, always a pleasure. Thanks
Appreciate
for
it, guys.
coming up.
Yes.
We're going to go work on
Best
the
of luck
card.
tomorrow.
Thank
Good
y'all.
luck
See
tomorrow.
y'all.
We'll see you at 6 p.m. for the Racer Appreciation
Oh, heck
Dinner.
yeah. Free food. Exactly.
And
So,
barbecue.
Thank you to everybody watching at home, and all the family didn't make it with us. So.
Yep. Well, thanks, Chip.
Catch you
and let's throw up a quick schedule of tomorrow's Run of Flow.
Oh,
Sounds like
we have
Ryan Rockhold's tuned in.
Yes, that's who he read his text.
So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time, we're going to start off with the Everyman Challenge classes, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class, the 4600 Spider Track Stock class, and the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, and the Sports Stockman, Stock Sportsman. At 10:30 a.m., it'll be the 170 UTV races. At 11 a.m., will be the 4900 Can-Am UTV classes. All 3 of them re-racing at the same time. And at 1:30, we kick off the 4400 Unlimited race. It's going to be a great day of action here in Tennessee. And don't forget, the Mid-America Outdoors will be racing tomorrow. And I think we have another slide of the rest of the season so we can show you where we will be the rest of the year. So up next will be Visions Off-Road at Jay, Oklahoma at Mid-America Outdoors. It's a double points race July 13th through the 17th. And then August 5th through the 8th will be the Western Series race and the Black Hills Throwdown in Sturgis, South Dakota during Bike Week at the Buffalo Chip. It's going to be awesome. And then September 2nd through the 4th, we'll be up at the Big House at Crandon, Wisconsin. It's going to be great to be back up there racing once again. And then we'll end up at another off-road festival of Legends of the Fall at Mid-America Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma, October 26th through the 30th. We'll have the National Rock Racing Series Championship there. We'll have the Mid-America Outdoors Championship there.
Side-by-side championship.
We'll have the Ultra 4 National Championship there. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on then, too. So if you haven't made it to Mid-America Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma yet, show up in July, show up in October, show up both times. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So, again, I just want to say thanks to every single person that's tuned in. We will see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. But if you want to watch the rodeo tonight at Mid-America Outdoors, tune in to the MAO app at 7 p.m. Again, I am Miles Hasquist alongside with Mrs. Pam Hall. We're going to sign off for tonight. We'll see you in the morning.
It's time for electric to turn into lightning. An electric truck that can haul on both ends, that can help build your house, and if need be, power that house. That feels like a bullet train and works like a freight train. The fully electric F-150 Lightning.
high-end monster meat.
Over 25 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.